listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Wednesday. We'll get over the hump together. Hope your week is going well thus far. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Thanks so much for being with us. How you doing, Mark? I know you had a lot of work to do yesterday. Hope you got it all done. How are you?
I'm doing well. I got to tell you, I hope for a long series at this point because we're running out of sports. I mean, it's just it's the part we don't pay attention to in May because the games are usually so exhilarating and we're fired up. The conference finals going on both in hockey and basketball, but we're running out of sports. So I'm hoping for longer series. But with that being said, those Carolina Hurricanes, they're cute. They are cute. I mean, they hosted the party and they had all their fans there and they brought back a player from when they won the cup and they rang the little horn thing and everybody and the Caniacs got so excited. And the Hurricanes seemed to embody some of the spirit of the great crowd in Raleigh. And they decided, you know what we're going to do, because we're soft as baby poo, we're going to come hit you. And in the first, 7-8 minutes of that game, the Carolina Hurricanes matched every hit the Florida Panthers had. In fact, they may have, even in the early going, out-hit the Panthers and tried to take Florida's game to Florida. And Florida just looked and they smiled and they said, come on. And then the Florida Panthers proceeded to do Florida Panther things to the Carolina Hurricanes. You want to hit our goalie because we hit the goalie in the last series and you were afraid that we were going to run your goalie. Don't worry. We usually do that in game 2. But you can come bump Bobrovsky and you can think that that's cute and you can kick him in the head and you can do whatever it is you want to do. But here's the thing. See, we have 4 lines. And we're getting production out of all of them. Every single damn one of them. And, your penalty killing, you think may be good. But, see, we have a few more goal scorers than you do. In fact, we've been getting scoring from up and down our lineup throughout the playoffs. Let me show you how. And the Florida Panthers proceeded to just kick the Carolina Hurricanes right in the midsection for the rest of the night and annihilate them in game 1. Annihilate them.
It looked like varsity, junior varsity after the first 10 minutes in that, the junior varsity, Mark, plays the same way as the varsity.
Right.
Okay. Because you're coming up in the same system.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So, and eventually you're going to grow up. You're going to add 15, 20 pounds and you're going to be the varsity. So you gotta play the way we do. And the varsity is just skating around looking at the junior varsity going, wow, you really want to try to out varsity us? I mean, shouldn't you have maybe tried the different approach? I don't know, speed? Maybe you've got a lot of it. Maybe you're going to try to out hit us? Us? Are you kidding? We walk off the bus, we hit somebody. Seriously? But yeah, no, it was fun. It was cute. And Carolina even got the goal with 15 seconds left in the first period to keep it a game. All right.
And the referees allowed the goal, even though I don't know in what direction, kicking forward or backward, that wasn't a distinct kicking motion, but neither here nor there.
I have to admit, though, all the announcers for TNT thought it was a legit goal, too. The guys doing the game, and then they go to the studio crew. I mean, Henrik Lundqvist, the goalie, thought it was a legit goal.
I was stunned that everybody was in agreement on that. They
I
all
was too.
determined that the deflection happened before the kick. Okay.
Yeah. Oof. Okay.
Those are great eyes, guys. Good job.
Yeah. But okay, hey. It made it more interesting for a little while. But and you know what's funny, Mark? I mean, outside of Bob, Florida's goalie, who was very good. I mean, because Carolina actually had 6 to 8 grade A scoring chances.
Oh, they're a good hockey team.
Yeah.
But to your point, David, they are not going to out Florida Panthers the Florida Panthers. And the announcers even mentioned it. They talked about it. When you play a certain way the whole year and then try to play a different way, can you maintain it throughout the course of a hockey game, throughout the course of a series? And I don't know, and I never thought that Carolina could.
And then in the third period, Carolina's, taking runs at guys, and you want to match cheap shots with the Panthers? Seriously? You're going to try to out-elbow, out-stick, out play on the edge the Panthers? What are you doing? But Mark, honestly, I thought Florida played a C-plus game outside of Bob. I thought Bob played an A game. Bob was good, because of those 6 grade A scoring chances. And this is the difference between the two teams. It's kind of like a football team that can move the ball between the 20s, but when they get in the red zone, they don't have the weapons to win an individual matchup, to beat a corner one-on-one or the big tight end down the seam. They don't have that. They move the ball, the cute, good scheme, and, play hard for the coach and the whole deal. But they kick field goals against the good teams. And meanwhile, the Panthers didn't, if this was a football analogy, Panthers didn't consistently move the ball. When the Panthers got in the red zone, that was a touchdown. I mean, the Panthers had a good scoring opportunity. That puck was in the back of the net.
In the back of the net. And once again, what did Florida do last night? 5 goals. How many different players scored the goals? 5. 5 different goal scorers.
Sunday, wasn't it 6 for 6?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then wasn't it in game 5 in Toronto when they scored another 6? Wasn't it also 6 for 6 that night?
I believe that was 6 for 6. It may have been 5, but I thought it was 6. Yeah. I thought they had 12 different goal scorers in the 2 games in Toronto.
I mean, what if they had 17 different guys score a goal in these playoffs?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. We're only a little over halfway through if, in theory, they're going to the finals and, they're going to play 6 or 7 games in late June. But, Mark, I thought the Panthers played a C-plus game last night. Outside of Bob. I thought Bob played an A game, A- game. I thought Bob was really good.
Yeah, he was terrific. He was terrific. I don't recall which Carolina player it was in the slot when he had Bob without a stick and decided not to shoot it along the ice.
Yes.
I thought that was a big moment in the game. You get that goal. I think
it's
that
3-2.
And all of a sudden we're back on.
Yep. But and by the way, they took runs at him. I mean, Eddie Olchuk even said the one run, who was it, Svechnikov? He said, that's a dirty play.
Right.
I mean, and you don't normally hear announcers say that's a dirty play. Oh, that's on the edge. That's physical. Eddie Olchuk just flat out said that was a dirty play. And then the Knicks series down, they kicked him in the head.
So the Panthers, without their best performance, yet to the point you made, David, offensively, you may call the game a C+, but it was an A+ from the standpoint of when they had opportunities to score, they buried them.
Oh, my goodness, Mark, seriously, it's like a football game, and the one team is 1 for 6 in the red zone, and the other team's 4 for 4. Because, man, oh, man, when the Panthers got inside and they got the puck on their stick up close, they roofed that sucker.
They had 20 shots on goal and scored 5 times.
Right.
That's tough to do in the National Hockey League.
It is.
Meanwhile, Bobrovsky stops 31 of 33. And the late power play goal by Carolina give them a goal on the man advantage, but Florida had 2.
Well, and that's the other thing. You're trying to out Florida, the Florida Panthers, but then the Panthers out-caned the Canes. The Canes live on special teams. Panthers win the special teams essentially 2-0 because, you score a power play goal down 5-1 with 2 minutes to go. That's cute. But, I mean, the Panthers had given up 2 power play goals in the playoffs, and one of them was 5-on-3. I mean, there is no better penalty kill in the league than the Carolina Hurricanes. And the Panthers were 2 for 3 on the power play.
And Anderson has a bad game, and he had been the best goalie in the postseason. I don't know how many goals you want to just put up as his fault, because as you pointed out, when Florida had chances, those were goal scorers' goals.
They were.
I mean, they really were.
I mean, 3 of those 5 were absolute roof jobs that I don't know if anybody stops once they go down into the butterfly. But, yep. Varsity, junior varsity.
Hope you bet on Florida last night, because it's the last time they'll be an underdog in this series.
Might be the last time they're an underdog in the playoffs until they go on the road in the finals.
You mentioned varsity, junior varsity. When you started doing that, all I was thinking of, and it's dated, is the Dream Team. When they had those first scrimmages against the college guys, and the college guys came out and took it to them. And the Dream Team said, "What the hell?"
Yeah. Legendary first scrimmage. The college guys took it to them.
Never did again.
Nope. Nope. Apparently, in the second scrimmage, the Dream Team treated the college all-stars the way they treated Angola. Remember when Barkley was at the presser and they said, "You're playing Angola tomorrow. What do you know about them?" He said, "I don't know much, but Angola in trouble."
I will say we got a text last night that I giggled at this morning, because I'm assuming this person is a Florida Panthers fan. They've not sent a lot of text, and they simply said, "Marchand to Florida is the best thing that happened to hockey in recent memory." Said by no one who's not a Florida Panther fan.
You got that right.
Miller and Moulton, pretty good little show lined up for you today. David Bearman will talk some NFL with us in the 7 o'clock hour. Seth Everett stops by, as he always does, in the 8 o'clock hour. And Derek Schultz will break down the Knicks-Pacers series. The starting 5, 25 minutes away.
Whether you're chasing peak performance, reigniting intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health creates customized game plans to optimize your health. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs and Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for 10% off your service. Find your maximum self with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples, Florida. Call 239-427-3441 today.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from that fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Two things. We need a poll question. And I have one little story for the coolest thing. If you see something, if you have seen anything, let me know, because it's not great.
Okay. Don't know if we want to do something. So have you heard the Cora controversy in Boston? So he took some day off here. I don't know.
Oh, for his daughter's graduation.
Right. And they're all over him in Boston because the graduation was 3 miles from Fenway at BC, and graduation was over 5 hours before the game. And he said, yeah, I took the day off for my daughter.
Yeah. This is one for me I don't get. You work a season. Like, I'm not comparing the two. But like, my daughter's teacher this year got married during the school year and then took days off. I'm like, I'm sorry, you're a teacher. Get married in the summer. I'm not being a jerk here. I don't get how you have a job that's an 8 to 9 month job and you're taking a week off for something you could do outside of it. Alex Cora, a graduation, can't do anything. 5 hours before the game, get back to your job.
Okay.
I don't know how the tough phrasing thing for people on the outside to see it and get it without listening to us explain it. That's my only problem. Not problem. That's my only, concern, I guess.
Yeah, Empire, this got to be a tough one for you. Johnny Mac, I'm with you. The reason why is you're not allowed on the field unless you're in one. Like Connie Mack, and you go back a ways, and they wore suits, but I don't think they were allowed on the field. To be on the field, you have to be in uniform. I don't know why they have to be in pants. Like, I wouldn't have any problem if they wore a pair of slacks and a jersey top, honestly. But what if you can't get, everybody's trying to get the venues in late May, June, July. I mean, seriously, what if you can't get the venue to get married in? Also, you get a vacation. You're not allowed to use it. I mean, you get time off besides your season, but I mean, can't you use them however you want?
Yeah, of course you can. I just find it. I mean, first off, I don't know how they get vacation days when they have 3 months. That's just me. They have vacation and half days and a lot of days, but that's just me. I guess I'm old school. I just want people to show up and work. That's all. I've had 1 day off this year. It'll be 2 coming up on Monday. I'm always kind of harsh, Empire.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. As Mark told you last segment, David Bearman, next hour to talk football. Seth Everett in our 8 a.m. Eastern hour for his weekly visit. Goodness knows what we'll talk about with Seth. And Derek Schultz, who will come at Knicks Pacers from an Indianapolis perspective. Also get a Caitlin Clark question or two in there with Derek Schultz as well. Hey, have you heard about the Cora controversy in Boston?
I have. He what did he attended his daughter's graduation and missed a game for it?
Correct.
Is that basically the gist of it?
Correct. His daughter graduated college. My understanding is she graduated from Boston College. By the way, congratulations. Nice school. Well done. BC is like 3 miles from Fenway. And I believe it was a night game. And graduation, we know when graduations are. Late morning, early afternoon, that sort of deal. But Cora took the day off, the whole day, spent it with his daughter and his family. It's a big deal. College graduation. Took a day off. Missed the Red Sox game that night. Oh, boy. This is the thing.
Yeah. What's his job?
He's manager of the Red Sox.
Okay. Their season begins in April and runs through September, hopefully late into October, right?
Well, come on now. His season begins in second week of February, okay, and runs, till first week of October at the very least. That's day to day. I mean, he doesn't get a day off for, 8 months. I mean,
right.
he may get a travel day if they come back, they're on the West Coast on a Sunday and they fly back and they get home late Sunday, midnight, early morning hours, Monday. Maybe they have a Monday day off. Okay. Maybe he stays away from the ballpark and doesn't talk to the general manager and what have you and gets most of Monday off. But, I mean, the days are few and far between in a baseball season. We know that. So, but people are bent out of shape that he took the whole day off, that he didn't do graduation and then said, hey, we're playing. I got to go.
That's where I'm in that camp. I'm in that camp. Yes. He's the manager of a professional baseball team. He gets paid millions of dollars to do that job. Show up and work. I guess unless the manager's not important. I guess if he's just there to hand a lineup card in and do what the book says, anybody could do it. But if managers are considered valuable, then I would want my manager there for the game. Maybe he doesn't have to be there for the pregame and he can handle all those things. But if it was a day graduation and a night game, his butt should be in that dugout.
Huh.
Nobody died.
I get it. I get it. I just think, I mean, she's graduating from college once. College graduation.
Was he able to see her graduate?
Yeah.
Get that piece of paper, shake that hand.
But a college graduation, Mark, is more than just 2-3 hours. It's a big deal for a family. You raise someone, 20 plus years invested. Okay. I mean, college graduation, big deal. Your son graduated from college. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I guess I'm an ass because I didn't make his college graduation. My dad didn't make mine. My mom did. My mom came with my grandma. I saw him for 30 minutes that day and then went on with, then they drove back from East Lansing to Saginaw. walked up, got my silly little piece of paper that I paid way too much money for, and I was done. I didn't think it was a big deal for me. I didn't think it was a big deal for my family. I didn't.
Okay.
It was my job to graduate college. You don't graduate college. I mean, I was there for 5 years, for crying out loud. I better get a piece of paper. Not like I was getting a medical degree, for crying out loud.
Okay.
You got the same degree that most of the basketball players at Michigan State have, for crying out loud, if they graduate.
I don't think he's taken a day off as manager. He's been there, years. I don't think he's had a day off. I think this is his one personal day so far as manager of the Red Sox. I didn't have a problem with it. If I were the general manager and he came to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to take the day off," and I'd go the whole day, and they go, "Yeah, okay." I would have been okay with it. He'll be there for 161 of them. I mean, now, could he have done the graduation and then showed up and managed the game? Sure, he could have. He said, "Hey, it's a big thing for my family. It was a big thing for my girl." Okay. And for a day, I put her first. For all the other days, I put this job first. I'm okay with that. And Mark, you and I are workaholics, man. We get no time off.
Yeah, I don't get it. You have a seasonal job. Your off season is when it is. I'm not saying it's an easy job. I'm not saying it's not demanding. I'm not saying it doesn't take a lot of hours. It does. It takes all of those things. You're elite at what you do. You have worked hard enough to get to that position. I just think you should have showed up. That basically tells any player whenever they need a day off or anything, they can have it. He's the manager of the team. Means every one of those guys, "Hey, my daughter's preschool graduation. I got to make that today. Sorry, can't play, boys."
Well, come on now.
To me, it's a bad example to set for the leader of the team. I'm telling you right now, that's how I feel. You may think that I'm overdoing it, and that's fine. But I think it's a bad example to set.
Well, no, Mark, there's a lot of people that agree with you. I mean, this isn't 97% to 3. This is between 60 and 40 somewhere. And I don't know which way it goes. But no, there are an awful lot of people that are like, he should have been there. Now, I remembered thinking about this, the 2017 U.S. Open golf. And remember, Phil Mickelson, he was 46, turning 47 during the golf tournament. He missed the 2017 U.S. Open because his first child, his daughter's high school graduation, was the Thursday of the U.S. Open. And he couldn't, with the tee time, with the tournament in Wisconsin and graduation in Arizona, even though it was a morning graduation, he had a private plane, he couldn't make his tee time. So he didn't play in the 2017 U.S. Open. And, of course, Phil's a U.S. Open shy, the career Grand Slam, and he's 47 that day, and he's not going to have many more realistic chances to win. It was a course that set up for him really well. That was that course that was long and wide open, played much more like a tour event than a U.S. Open. Koepka's winning score, I think, was 16 under. JT shot a 63 on Saturday there in the U.S. Open. But, Phil missed it for his oldest child's high school graduation.
And to me, that is apples and oranges. Phil Mickelson's an independent contractor. He doesn't work for anybody. He works for himself. He made that choice. He didn't go tell a boss that, "Hey, I'm not going to play in this game because I'm attending my daughter's graduation." The choice for he and his family. It doesn't affect anyone else. Not a single soul is affected by Phil not playing in that. Scheffler was going to do the same thing at the Masters if his child was born. So I don't think we can compare. This is where, to me, I have trouble comparing team sports with individual sports.
Oh, okay, and that's fair. But it's a thing, and I'm wondering if we can phrase it and put it into a poll question. With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Honey, you want to come out? I haven't seen you since Glass Doctor installed our custom shower enclosure.
No thanks.
Well, you can't keep eating breakfast in the shower, and laminating your magazines is getting expensive. You remember we have guests coming over tonight, right?
Oh, I'm sure they'd love to see the shower.
It's our neighbors, and I highly doubt they want to be hanging out in our bathroom.
The shower's so good, you'll never want to leave. Visit glassdoctor.com today and schedule an appointment online.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
All right, Red Sox manager Alex Cora missed a game to attend his college daughter's graduation.
You mean his daughter's college graduation, right?
Yeah, his daughter's college graduation. To attend his daughter's college graduation, period.
All right.
Do you think he should have been?
I do think we need to put in parenthesis, if we have room, okay. Like Alex Cora missed. Read that to me again, please.
Red Sox manager Alex Cora missed a game to attend his daughter's college graduation.
I do think you should put missed his 7 p.m. game.
Red Sox manager Alex Cora missed his 7 p.m. game to attend his daughter's college graduation. That was during the day.
And, okay, yeah, I would put, yes, early afternoon, 3 miles from ballpark.
Okay. Okay. That was early afternoon, just 3 miles from Fenway. Should he have missed the game?
Or are you okay with it?
Are you okay with Cora missing the game? Yes, no. All right, it's up.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. David Bearman will join us 1 hour from now to talk about the NFL owners' meetings and what they've already done and what it looks like they're going to do later today. Seth Everett in 2 hours. And we'll head to Indianapolis in the bonus hour. We'll get a Pacers perspective on Knicks Pacers, which gets underway tonight. And also work a little Caitlin Clark in. So are we going with this as a poll question?
Sure, why not? I've got it up already.
Okay. I think it's important that we give as much perspective in the question as possible.
I think we have it. I think we worked on it through the break. I think what we have serves well. Red Sox manager Alex Cora missed his 7 p.m. game to attend his daughter's college graduation. That was early afternoon, just 3 miles from Fenway. Are you okay with Cora missing the game?
Okay. I think that's
how much more we can get in there.
Yeah, but I'm glad we put in all the information because, if we had just put college graduation, first off, people might have thought it was out of town, halfway across the country, and so no, we put the whole thing in perspective. And I'm okay with it. And Mark thought he should have been working. Okay. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X. Now, for the record, and Mark, you know this because I'm a workaholic like you, I would have done both. I would have attended graduation and then I would have peeled off at some point and come to the game. I might have shown up. I know I would have shown up at the ballpark later than I normally do. Okay, but I would have done both. But I'm okay with him missing the game and missing the day.
Hell, he had most of last night off too. He only worked a third of the damn game.
Boy, that was a case of a home plate umpire really throwing gasoline on a fire, wasn't it?
That wasn't needed.
No. Come on,
at
dude.
all.
Come on, dude. We ain't here to see you.
But he was sure that they were.
Whew.
Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the Starting Five.
Well, we'll start with the NFL, and not as much got done as we thought. Owners unanimously approved the players' ability to participate in flag football at the 2028 LA Summer Olympics. Unanimously. That's interesting. Negotiations are still officially needed with the NFLPA and also with Olympic officials, but obviously the Olympics are going to be in favor of it. And this was something that the players wanted, so I would think they'll be able to work out something with the NFLPA. I'm sure it'll be injury language, right? That'll probably be what is going to get worked out between the lawyers, between the league and the NFLPA. Oh, by the way, Commissioner Goodell, in an interview that he gave yesterday, says, yeah, by 2030, I want 16 international games. I want every team to play an international game every year. This year, for the record, there are 7 international games. And Goodell wants in 5 years' time 7 to be 16. I will say this, Mark. I am I don't want to say proponent, but I'm much more okay with the NFL and these international games when it's a 17-game schedule. Because then obviously, 1 year the AFC teams have 9 home games, the next year it's the NFC. So what is it that you're doing? In a lot of cases, you're making sure the team that has the 9 home games is the one that is going to, quote, lose one of them, so to speak, because they'll be the home team in an international game. But I don't know. When it's going to be an 18-game season, which it will probably be in 2 to 3 years, I don't know. Plus, man, 16 international. I mean, Mark, we're playing in Brazil, Spain, Dublin, Berlin, and 3 in London. No, seriously, 9 more to go. Go.
Well, they don't have one in Mexico this year.
Okay, there's one.
So add that to the list.
Canada.
Would they go north of the border?
Yes, 2. Okay, 7 more.
They want Australia, David.
Okay, great. 6 more. You know the point I'm trying to make here. I mean, are we going to start doubling down on Spain, Dublin, and Berlin also, the way we're tripling down on London? I mean,
I think we'll double down on Germany. I don't know if they'll both be in Berlin, but I think we'll double down on Germany.
Okay, 5 more to go.
I do think that you're going to see other European countries get a game, whether France gets a game.
Okay, fine. Let's throw 2 more in. We got 3 more still. We got to go.
They'll double up in Mexico.
Okay, 2 more.
And then I would say I would be looking South America.
Okay, 1 more still to go. I mean, the point I was trying to make, though. I mean, this is really, Raj? Are you sure this isn't a very aggressive undertaking? Is this really needed? ACC, we were talking yesterday about Big 12 and the money they distributed to their schools. And by the way, the money that got distributed for last year, because technically this year's not over yet. Technically this year still has a few more weeks to go in the whole year, and then the money gets distributed later on. The Big 12 distributed like $42 million for the 2024 school year. Well, the ACC distributed $45 million per school. For the record, the Big Ten and the SEC throw like $30 million on top of that. NHL, varsity, junior varsity, men, boys. How do you want to describe this? Anyway, the Panthers handled Carolina 5-2. Carolina tried to out Florida, tried to out hit them. That didn't work. Took runs at Bob and goal. He stopped 31 to 33 shots. Okay. Carolina's vaunted penalty kill gave up 2 power play goals and 3 chances. Panthers get 5 goals from 5 different players. Yeah. Panthers up 1-0. Don't you think the series is, any chance of a series is game 2?
Absolutely. It's as must-win early in a series as it gets for a team.
Tonight, by the way, game 1 of the Western Conference Finals, a rematch from a year ago when Edmonton beat Dallas in 6, when Dallas had home ice. Sure enough, here we go. Dallas with home ice, Edmonton and the Stars, winner skates for the cup. I don't agree with what the Bruins did yesterday. They brought back general manager Don Sweeney for 2 more years. Take a look at the Bruins drafting in the last 10 years. I know they've been a perennial playoff team, so they're always drafting in the 20s. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. I would have moved on if I was Boston. And I'm not sure that I'd want Cam Neely higher in the next GM either. But anyway, NBA. The T-Wolves led by 4 at the half. Mark, what was it you said about the Thunder yesterday?
When they win, they destroy teams.
Remember, Minnesota was up 4 at the half.
Yes, they were.
The Thunder won by 26. They outscored the T-Wolves 70-40 in the second half. SGA with 31. Thunder lead the series 1-0. Game 1 of the Knicks and Pacers, the Eastern Conference Final tonight. Knicks a 4.5-point favorite at home. Pacers 4-1 on the road in these playoffs. Knicks just 3-3 at home. This a rematch of last year in the second round when the Pacers beat the Knicks in 7 with the Knicks having home court advantage. Same scenario a year later. They're just playing 1 round later. Baseball. Yeah, the Cubs scored 8 in the 6th and 5 in the 9th. They beat the Marlins 14-1. Phillies have won 5 in a row. Schwarber homered again. They beat Colorado 7-4. Rockies have lost 15 of 17. They're 8-40. That's a 167 winning percentage.
The most wins in baseball right now is 32. The Rockies have 40 losses already.
The Rockies are on pace to win 28 games. How about that for a bet? Who has the 32 wins? The Tigers?
Yes.
Have the Tigers won more games by May 21st than the Rockies will win all year?
Wow.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you through Memorial Day. How about that? We can place that bet next Tuesday. After Memorial Day, we'll place the bet. Tigers, however many wins they have, at that point, we'll post it and we'll say to the Rockies, beat it. You've got 4 more months. Go. Boston got to 500, beating the Mets 2-0. Mets have lost 5 of 6. Braves fall back to 500. Strider off the injured list. Got hit hard early, then settled down. Got taken out in the 5th because of a pitch count. Gave up 4 runs early. Nats beat the Braves 5-3. Mark, stop the presses. The Rays won a home game.
Amazing, David. We didn't think it would happen.
Now, they had to score 2 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th to edge the Astros 3-2, but hey, it counts. Judge hit a 2-run homer. He had 2 hits. He's hitting .403. Yankees over the Rangers 5-2. Pirates snapped the Reds' 5-game winning streak and snapped their own 4-game losing streak with a 1-0 win over Cincy. I think it's the 7th time the Reds have been shut out this year. The Orioles have lost 8 in a row. Brewers beat them 5-2. Tigers edged the Cardinals 5-4. Riley Green, a homer, and the game-winning double in the 9th for Detroit. Cleveland, Minnesota got rained out. Their Monday game got suspended in the 4th inning. So they're going to finish the suspended game at 1 o'clock today. Then they're going to play their regularly scheduled game at 3. And then they're still going to have to make up a game in September from this series. Toronto got homers from Santander and Vladdy Jr. in a 3-0 win over San Diego. Dodgers gave up 2 in the 10th, but scored 3 in the 10th to beat the Diamondbacks 4-3, snapped the 4-game losing skid. White Sox snapped the Mariners, I should say, 4-game winning streak, 1-0. Angels have won 5 in a row. A's have lost 7 in a row, 7-5 LA. And the Giants remain a game back of the Dodgers, with a 3-2 win over the Royals. Congratulations, Kurt Busch, Harry Gant, Ray Hendrick, and longtime race promoter Humpy Wheeler. He sounds like a NASCAR small.
Sounds like a used car salesman. No offense.
Humpy
Come
Wheeler.
by Humpy Wheeler's Used Cars here on the corner of Charlotte Highway 71 and Smith Street.
Kurt Busch, Harry Gant, Ray Hendrick, Humpy Wheeler, all newest members of the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Hall of Fame guy? How was Gant not already in the Hall of Fame?
His resume is not as impressive as you think. He won 18 times, didn't win a cup title, finished second once. He is the oldest driver to win a race at 52 and oldest driver to win a pole at 54. Remember, Harry got started really late.
No, I didn't remember. That's why I asked you. It just sounds like a name that should have already been in the Hall to me.
Also, he was the Bandit, for goodness, Skull Bandit.
Right.
Gators officially added Arkansas transfer Boogie Flan yesterday. They're visiting the White House today. Congratulations, longtime FGCU women's coach Carl Semesco. He got his first WNBA win last night, and he did so in Indiana at the expense of Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Atlanta held on late, 91-90. Brittany Griner with 21 points. Clark, she was okay, 27 points, 11 assists. They'll have a rematch tomorrow night in Atlanta. Vegas beat Connecticut by 25. By the way, officially, Caitlin Clark's blowout win over the Chicago Sky, 2.7 million viewers Sunday afternoon. Second to the PGA, which did about 2 million more.
The hockey did like 2.44 million that night. It was their best rated second round game. It did have Winnipeg in it, which needs to be noted, but it was beat by the WNBA, which we thought, but not as badly as I thought it would be, David.
But, Mark, not only did Caitlin Clark beat the NHL 8 o'clock that night on ABC, but Caitlin Clark beat the Mets-Yankees, which was the highest rated regular season baseball game that ESPN has had in 7 years. They had 2.5 million for Sunday Night Baseball, and Caitlin Clark beat that. And at 7 minutes before the hour, that was the starting five. 5 big stories, and Caitlin Clark equals ratings here on Miller and Moulton.
Our poll questions about Red Sox manager Alex Cora. He missed a game recently to attend his daughter's graduation. The graduation was 3 miles away from Fenway. The graduation was early afternoon. Are you okay with Cora missing the game? Basically, yes. Now, almost 9 of 10 of you say so. Texters, baseball is one of the better sports to leave for a day since there are a bajillion games per season. Another texter says, you've got one shot at this life. The team is not his legacy. His children are. If he needed to miss the whole week for his children, my opinion is so be it. And then someone chiming in with where we go for more games, they said Greenland. Miller and Moulton. Southwest Florida's scorching heat is on its way. Stay cool with Air Advantage. As a proud Rheem Pro partner, Air Advantage delivers top-notch air conditioning solutions to keep you cool and comfortable. Right now, enjoy 18 months, no interest, no payments on qualifying systems. Call 433-4635 today for expert installation and unbeatable comfort all summer long. Online at myairadvantage.com. Air Advantage. Call today, 433-4635. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. Mark Miller for Molly Maid. I've been a customer for over a year and cannot say enough good things about their service and communication. If you're a business owner, you can trust Molly Maid to do an exceptional job. Their expert team delivers tailored cleaning for whatever your needs, ensuring a pristine environment for clients and staff. Visit mollymaid.com/FT-Myers or call 239-418-0052. Molly Maid makes my home shine, and it will make your home or business shine too.
We've got a text message for Dr. Dollar. I feel tired, sluggish, and just not myself. I'm gaining weight, my energy is low, and I've lost my drive. Could it be low testosterone?
Absolutely. Testosterone naturally declines over time, but you don't have to accept it. Low T can affect your energy, strength, mood, and focus. But here's the good news. Testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, can help restore your vitality and get you back to feeling your best. Imagine waking up strong, sharp, and energized, ready to take on the day like you used to. At Revitalize Clinic, we specialize in physician-guided, American-made TRT designed just for you.
Take control of your health today. Call Revitalize Clinic at 239-277-5770. Visit revitalizelounge.com or text Dr. Dollar directly at 239-980-2302. Feel like yourself again. Testosterone replacement therapy, because your best years aren't behind you, they're just getting started. Text Dr. Dollar now at 239-980-2302.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Knicks, who's trying to make it edgy? Not us, right? You're talking to like the national narrative, the whole Angel Reese thing.
Yes, that's what I think he's talking about.
Okay. By the way, that whole thing shows the difference in how women's sports is covered versus men's. Imagine, I'm serious, and it could be a white player and a black player, okay, and they could have a little thing, but, the one player pushes a player out of the way, grabs the rebound, the other player comes in and, hard foul, say, no, go earn it from the line. I mean, it's such a nothing burger. Even if they don't like each other, even if the one player overreacted, even if it was a flagrant one, whatever.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Thanks so much for being with us. Mark, I don't know if technically, we are under 100 days to the first Thursday of the college football season. We don't count week 0 on this show. There's only 4 games, only one involving 2 Power 4 teams playing one another. We don't count week 0, but we count week 1. It's Labor Day weekend. You got games for 5 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We are 99 days away from that first Thursday night. That's got 16 games scheduled this year, including both South Florida and UCF. And I think UAB also for our Alabama audience. So we're 99 days away.
It's a long time.
It is. It is.
I have gotten to where, and I'm fine. You do the numbers. It's your thing. People like it. I've gotten to where I don't listen now to the numbers until we're done with the NBA and or Stanley Cup finals.
Okay. So another month.
I mean but again, do the numbers. People like them. They're football fans. I get it. I just personally, 99's a long damn ways away.
Yeah, it's a Gretzky. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the numbers are 99 and 106. 99 to the first Saturday, or first Thursday, I should say, of the college season. And then 106 days away from Eagles-Cowboys on NBC.
I did order my Phil Steele magazine earlier this week, though.
I have not this year. This will be my final year. I don't know if I'll keep buying it, even though we'll keep doing the show. I probably do need it for the show, so I probably shouldn't say this will be my last year, but I buy that sucker so I got that sucker on the road.
I understand. And, you better get after it because I think the window of the VIP buying's about over, where you get the nice little deal that they throw at you. And I know you got to get a couple of those magazines. You usually have one for home, one for the road.
Yeah, and it's the only thing that Gary lets me buy them all year. It's like the only money I get to spend on them all year.
I'm just hoping because I am actually, David is not. We are taking off Monday, Memorial Day. We'll run a best of show. We are taking off the 4th of July. I am taking the entire week off before the 4th of July, but David is going to work.
Right.
We are not going to give you a week of best of shows.
No, we wouldn't do that to you. First off, let's face it, it's Miller and Moulton. Do we really have that much best of material?
No.
Hello.
Not even close.
By the way,
in a day.
Stop it. Along the lines, come on, we can fill a show. I mean, it's 12 segments, so come to think of it. Damn. Along the lines of being snarky. So we had that international NFL story in the starting 5 there that Goodell wants 16 international games by the end of this decade. Right now we have 7. That seems like a big escalation in a short period of time. And someone texted in at 21,000 that if you're looking for an international location, one of them could be Greenland.
That's well played.
Well, it's well played, except what if by the end of the decade it's not an international game? Hello.
Well, then that rules the 2 in Canada out either. As we get
Well,
to
not necessarily. Maybe only one goes with the plan, not the other. So, but anyway, just having some fun. Just having some fun. Quick sidebar. Aren't you surprised the NFL doesn't play more games in Canada? I've always been. I've always been. I mean, they love the NFL north of the border. They do. I mean, they're proud of their little cute league. Okay. And it made some nice ESPN programming 40 years ago, back in the day during the afternoon. I mean, I loved coming home from school, being able to watch some Hamilton versus Ottawa. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
It would not rank in my top early ESPN sports watching. Australian rules football would hold down the top spot.
Of course.
There was nothing better than a little midday or typically late morning. When I first got ESPN and I was home alone in the summers because my parents both worked and they weren't getting a babysitter, I woke up and watched a lot of Australian rules football. And it took me a while to figure out the sport, to figure out what was
right.
right.
6 points in between the middle, but only 1 point if you run it or kick it to the side of the big uprights there. Right.
And if you catch the long pass, they can't hit you.
Right.
There were rules, and you had to figure them out. So that was number 1 on my list.
If we could stop
I have to. What's that?
If I could just stop there for a second. Here's another potential poll question back in the day. College basketball shorts in the 80s. Australian rules football officials shorts. Which were shorter, which were tighter?
That was Australian rules football. Didn't they wear shorts with the sport jacket too? I mean, didn't the officials?
Yes, but also those guys played rugby essentially in those shorts. I mean, it was bad enough Steve Alford and company running up and down the court in those shorts, but they played football in those shorts. I was always amazed how they did it. I digress.
Yeah. Aussie rules football was up there, and David, and because I still love it, I haven't shot pool in forever. I loved the billiards on ESPN.
Totally.
And it turned me and one of my longtime friends who had a pool table into avid 9-ball players because we never saw 9. I'm 12, 13 years old. I'd never really heard of 9-ball. You played 8-ball when you played pool. That's all we played. And they're showing billiards, and you would get 9-ball. And, these guys are winning off the break. They're running the table. They're setting these great snooker shots on the other guy. That was always fun to watch as well.
I also think that or late night TV, the last place that you smoke and drank on television, was it the billiards on ESPN, which you knew was at some dump Atlantic City pool hall, all right, in which they commandeered like 4 tables in the back with 2 cameras and just filmed all day one day and just ran the stuff for a week. Or late night television where they were still drinking and smoking on air in the 80s. I'm telling you, it's the last 2 places that I remember. You still had the occasional golfer in the 80s who would, they'd catch them out in the middle of the fairway. Okay. And
that carried on for a while because of Daly.
True. But, they'd still, sucking down some darts in the middle of the fairway. They'd try not to show him when he was smoking. But anyway. But
speaking of days gone by and things that happened, I must just do this into the microphone once today.
Uh-oh.
Norm!
Yeah. And you had included a Cheers reference in our,
Today was the day when this week. Their last episode was just a couple,
it was last night.
Ago. Yeah.
He died 32 years to the day when the last Cheers episode aired. By the way, you and I talk ratings all the time. Did you see how many of us watched the final episode of Cheers?
Oh, yeah. It was a BFD.
Mark, it was 25 million more than an AFC championship game. with Patrick Mahomes in it. 80 million of us watched the final episode of Cheers. Seriously, the NFL saw that rating and said, honestly, the only thing in this country that outrates that's the Super Bowl.
Where would Norm, because obviously he wasn't the main character. Norm would have to go on the short list of best supporting actors in a sitcom after. I mean, Kramer would probably go on that list.
Okay. Now, if you're going to go there, for as much as we love Norm, okay, because Norm was lovable, bigger part of the show, Norm or Cliff?
Norm.
Cliff was annoying, but I always felt like Cliff had more lines.
But they did, I don't recall as many episodes about Cliff as there were about Norm. I recall an episode in which Norm and his wife separated, and then they had a blind date, and he went on a blind date with his wife. And before the thing, he's got his jacket on, and he's hot, and he says, I don't want to pit out, and he takes his jacket off, and he literally has 2 manhole covers of sweat marks on his arm. And as someone that runs hot, David, I can relate to that. Not to mention they wrote such outstanding jokes for Norm. All the way through when he walked in the bar, whether it was Coach or whether it was Woody, they did just such a great job of making him that lovable.
Danson says to him, how you doing, Norm? He goes, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing Milk-Bone underwear. There's about an 18-minute montage of all the times he entered the bar and all his one-liners that is out there on social media. Go find it. All right. When the boss is looking over your shoulder at work today, go, you doing any work? And well, I will in about 16 more minutes.
So feel free to text me what you think are the best supporting actors ever in a sitcom. I would put Norm up there. David doesn't even know if he's the best supporting actor on his own show.
Well, he's the most beloved. Okay. I think he was more beloved on the show than Carla and Cliff and what have you.
Maybe not Woody. Woody was beloved too, because it was, the character that he played.
Yep.
And Coach the same way, because they played the same character, only with a 60-year age difference.
Right. But 80, I couldn't believe when I saw that. 80 million for the series. I mean, the only other sitcom that I think had more people watch its final episode was MASH. I guess the 80 million is the 7th highest rated non-Super Bowl television show in the history of this country.
Wow.
Oh, 80 million.
I understand that. But we watch a lot of TV to be, to get the top 10 all time. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Well, 80 million. It's 80 million. Do you remember after they did the series finale, they had like a 1-hour live show with the cast of Cheers? They were all hammered. Find it.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise. On 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
Honey, you want to come out? I haven't seen you since Glass Doctor installed our custom shower enclosure.
No thanks.
Well, you can't keep eating breakfast in the shower, and laminating your magazines is getting expensive. You remember we have guests coming over tonight, right?
Oh, I'm sure they'd love to see the shower.
It's our neighbors, and I highly doubt they want to be hanging out in our bathroom.
The shower's so good, you'll never want to leave. Visit glassdoctor.com today and schedule an appointment online.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Is Irish football in here yet? I've got a new job for him.
I don't think so. I haven't seen him today.
I mean, Ambien, I'm sorry. I don't think you qualify. I know you love the team, but I'm not going to give you this one because you're not as smart as Irish football. But the Broncos are looking for a senior director of business intelligence and analytics. That's got to be Irish football's gig.
Huh?
Apparently, everybody's giving Cora the day off. I'm the only jerk out there. I would argue Howard Hessman was the star of that show, though. I mean, it was an ensemble cast, but he certainly, to me, wasn't a supporting actor. Like someone that said Herb Tarlick, he was a supporting actor. But Howard Hessman was one of the main characters on that show, I think. I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot.
Comtech, they had basically the same system they have now, only they actually now Nielsen, I would say, is far more accurate than they were then, but it's kind of like how they do polling, you know, when they poll 800 people and yet it's supposed to speak for the nation with a plus or minus 3%. Boy, look at Johnny Fingerlakes going back in the day. I thought the Lou Grant reference might be the oldest reference we have. Yes, you are, Johnny Fingerlakes. Well, we're glad you're still with us, Johnny. So I am 6 months away from being a senior. I thought you had to be 65. Yes, I know. And the Champions Tour. Yes, Jake.
Pretty funny yesterday. I'm talking to Jake, and at the end of it, he goes, yeah, my friends are all texting me that I'm old and happy birthday. And, I'm just, and he's like, just trying to remember that I'm not that close to 30. And I went, yeah. He's like, this isn't helping, Dad. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. What I didn't want to tell him is that, and I didn't even say it to him, like there's only one birthday that I didn't enjoy in my life. 26 bothered me.
I know. And it was 30 for me. And
So
they
I
threw me.
helped my kid yesterday at 26. It was my worst birthday, kiddo. Enjoy therapy.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. David Bearman will join us a little more than 15 minutes. We'll talk about what the owners did in the NFL and what they're about to do coming up. You opened up not a can of worms, all right? You opened up an aisle full of worms, okay, when you just said, hey, text 21,000 or Twitch chat room, let us know the best supporting characters in TV shows that you've enjoyed.
Why on God's green earth did that garner that voice?
Well,
what the hell did I do to you? I mean, I'm not the one booking IndyCar guests at 8:38. What the hell did I do to you?
Quick sidebar, ladies and gentlemen. How long do you think I'm going to pay for our IndyCar guest at 8:38 yesterday? Under October. Hello.
Unbelievable.
But come on. I mean, you throw out a non-sports item like that. People enjoy our non-sports talk more than they enjoy our sports talk. I mean, people who are they're half in a coma this morning. All of a sudden, I got people in the Twitch chat room I've never seen before. Okay, throwing in secondary characters on TV shows they've loved.
I just love that it shows. We want our audience to continue to get younger, older. We just want it to grow. We don't give a damn. Men, women, children. Miller and Moulton don't care. We just want more of you to listen. But it does show the age of our audience when I get Ted Knight, Mary Tyler Moore show.
Right. Lou Grant. Okay.
Right.
Ed Norton from the Honeymooners. Okay. But that's okay because we got the Olsen twins sitcom. What was that?
Full House?
Full House. We had a Full House reference in the answers here. Here's my thing. There are certain TV shows that are so good. Like, what if I said, like, the gentleman in the Twitch chat room, he gave us two, like Lou Grant's or Ted Knight's character, which, if you could only from certain classic shows, what if we said you can only go with one of the secondary characters?
Well, you could have a question. What was the best supporting actor on Cheers? Just that alone.
Totally.
You could go Norm, Cliff, Coach, Woody, and I'm leaving out Carla. I'm leaving out Frasier, who ended up getting his own damn show.
Which was very successful.
Right.
Also.
I mean, you could just do it with Cheers and stop there because it was such a large cast over the years and so many, whereas a show like Seinfeld had 4 people in it. They were all really main characters. Yeah, Jerry's the main guy, but they were all main characters. I do love a couple people have nominated Christopher Lloyd from Taxi, who played Jim. Yeah. Yes. Yes to all of you. Yes. What does a yellow light mean? Go look up the episode. It's spectacular.
Hysterical. Herb Tarlick, by the way, we had quite a few WKRP and Cincinnati references during that commercial break.
And again, they're all funny. But I mean, when you go people go Frank Burns from MASH and Mary Tyler Moore. Someone said Meathead All in the Family. These are, WKRP was kind of a niche show. These other shows we're talking about were monsters.
Right.
Like absolute monsters.
Like Cheers. But a tip of the cap to George Wendt, who passed away in his sleep yesterday morning at the age of 76. Listen, I just want to, I don't know if it's prove a point, but these folks, women's sports gets covered differently than men's. First off, in most cases, it doesn't get covered at all. But when it gets covered in a very sexist, it gets covered in a very, I would almost say, infantile ways, oftentimes compared to men's sports. Now, there are some women's sports, though, when you cover them the way their male counterpart is covered, they get bent out of shape. And that's when we look at them and go, this is what you said you wanted, right? You wanted mainstream coverage. This is how your counterparts over in the other league get covered, suck it up and deal. But people have their narratives about Caitlin Clark. Is she popular because she's white? Is she popular because of, what she did at Iowa and it's just carrying over? This is how good Caitlin Clark is. Diana Taurasi is considered one of the best women's basketball players of all time, correct?
Yep.
Played for over 20 years in the WNBA. If they listed an all-time WNBA team, I think she would make first team. At worst, she'd make second team. She played 565 games in the WNBA. She was a point guard, just like Caitlin Clark, and she was an elite player. Do you know how many 20-point, 10-assist games Diana Taurasi had in her career in the WNBA?
I honestly have no idea.
9 out of 565 games. Last night, Caitlin Clark in her 42nd game, had her 10th career 20-point, 10-assist game, tying the all-time record in the WNBA. And the person who holds the record needed 430 games. Caitlin has tied the record in 42. I mean, can the national media, male and female, black and white, just stop with all the crap? Okay? She's really good. We haven't seen a woman play basketball like this before, okay? We haven't. It's that simple. Enjoy it. Don't watch, whatever, but move on. Will you, please?
Well, I can honestly say, David, when you brought up Diana Taurasi, I wasn't being flippant. I can tell you with 100% certainty, I never watched her play a basketball game. Ever.
You're not alone.
No, I mean, ever.
Right?
I did not watch a WNBA game ever until Caitlin Clark joined the league. I had it on here and there. When Whitney Knight, the girl from FGCU, made the league and her game was on, I'd flip it on. She was the third one deep on the bench, and I'd turn it off because she never played.
Right. And she was only in the league a short time. Right.
But I watched her play some college ball, so there was a little identification there with her. So I tried to follow her career. It never developed into much. I've watched WNBA games with Caitlin Clark. I didn't watch a second last night, nor did I watch a second on Saturday. Maybe when the NBA and NHL playoffs are done, it may jump on my landscape. The odds are it won't until their playoffs start, because I'm interested to see if this Indiana Fever team can do something in the postseason. They've made additions to their roster. They're far better than they were a year ago. There are expectations for that team this year.
But she has played 42 career regular season games at the highest level that you can play it at in the world, quite frankly. 1 out of every 4 times she has stepped on the floor, she has scored 20 points and handed out 10 or more assists. I don't know. That seems pretty remarkable to me. I mean, can't we just end the discussion there? So, anyway.
It doesn't fit the narrative of what they want, David. They don't even, to me now, they don't care about the play of Caitlin Clark. And by they, I mean the 4-letter network. They've developed this into their own story for their own narrative. And now they're more interested in Ryan Clark's beef with RG3 than they are what actually is going on the court. And that's their mistake. And I think that turns a lot of people off. Miller and Moulton. Dave Bearman next. Southwest Florida's scorching heat is on its way. Stay cool with Air Advantage. As a proud Rheem Pro partner, Air Advantage delivers top-notch air conditioning solutions to keep you cool and comfortable. Right now, enjoy 18 months, no interest, no payments on qualifying systems. Call 433-4635 today for expert installation and unbeatable comfort all summer long. Online at myairadvantage.com. Air Advantage. Call today, 433-4635.
Whether you're chasing peak performance, reigniting intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health creates customized game plans to optimize your health. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs and Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for 10% off your service. Find your maximum self with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples, Florida. Call 239-427-3441 today.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. I've been a customer for over a year and cannot say enough good things about their service and communication. If you're a business owner, you can trust Molly Maid to do an exceptional job. Their expert team delivers tailored cleaning for whatever your needs, ensuring a pristine environment for clients and staff. Visit mollymaid.com/FT-Myers or call 239-418-0052. Molly Maid makes my home shine, and it will make your home or business shine too. Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
Baxberg, we didn't talk about it specifically, so Mark and I could do that now. Mark,
we got a guess.
No, I know, but just 30 seconds during the Twitch chat room. The incident with Marchand mid-third there, when the Carolina player fired the puck directly at him hard and Marchand went right at him, dropped the gloves, even though he got the game misconduct. I thought Marchand was completely in the right.
Sure. I mean, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. The penalty call was right to me. He went after a guy. The guy didn't drop his gloves. They gave him 4 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. That's about right.
Smoke Dog, I don't know who you're talking about. Division leaders?
Baseball would be my guess.
Oh, okay.
We will do that Tuesday, though, Smoke Dog, the day after Memorial Day. That's when we will do that.
Spitz, they can't use replay for that, though. Yes, Johnny, we are. Best of. So, agreed. Coffin Ball, totally agree. Plus, he doesn't usually fight.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
That's Miller and Moulton coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, just keeping it real. Seth Everett will join us 1 hour from now. Derek Schultz will tip off our bonus hour with a Pacers perspective of the Knicks Pacers series, and we may get a Caitlin Clark question in as well. But a little NFL talk once again. David Bearman from the good folks at Pro Football Network, profootballnetwork.com. Follow David on X at David Bearman, Bearman PFN. David Bearman PFN. David, it's David and Mark. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Just waiting yet another rainstorm in the Northeast. It's they say something April showers bring May flowers. I think it's the opposite. It rains every day here now.
Sorry to hear that. Can we go through the three main orders of business and then talk about some secondary stuff with these owner meetings? First off, your thoughts on the owner's unanimous approval to allow the players to play flag football in the Olympics.
I mean, I think it's good for the sport. Obviously, they're promoting flag football as the next big thing at the youth level. I think at least the NFL is doing the right things. We've talked about in the past how baseball is losing its way with the youth and not promoting what they need to promote in Little League. And the NFL is doing the opposite. They're promoting the youth and promoting flag football. I'm a flag football coach. I've been coaching flag football for 7 years now. And to see that more and more people want to do it, they just opened up a travel league here down near me. And this is all related to the NFL push for flag football. And there's no better way to show you're serious than to let the NFL players play in it. Now, do I think it's a great idea from a team perspective? I'm actually stunned all 32 owners signed off on it, and you wonder if, Roger Goodell's, maybe pulling some strings behind the scene. But to think that you might get a Patrick Mahomes playing flag football and could get injured, we know years ago, the Super Bowl used to host a flag football thing on the beach until players got injured. So I'm actually surprised all 32 owners signed off on it. But at the end of the day, it's good for the sport and it's good for the promotion of it. I wouldn't be thrilled if I was an NFL owner paying millions of dollars to these players, though.
Yeah, I'm like you. I was stunned that they were unanimous in this. If I was an owner, there's no way in hell I would have ever allowed it. But it's what Goodell wants, and what Goodell wants, he usually gets. With that being said, do you think he got the necessary votes between March and today to ban the tush push?
I'm going to think that he did, just based on the way he does things behind the scenes. I'm going to say that it is going to be banned. I don't think it's the right move. Listen, I don't like the tush push as the next person as a competitor and someone who, whose team plays the Eagles or has somebody in fantasy against the Eagles or betting against the Eagles. It bothers me that it's so easy to get done, but that's the nature of the beast. If you want to ban it, stop it first. And I know they're going to go the whole safety route. That is what Roger Goodell's going to push. He's going to push safety, when really it's a competitive advantage thing. And I'd be really mad if I was an Eagles fan because your team has developed something that they can do better than any other. And I don't think the answer is banning it unless there is absolute proof that it is a safety risk to the players. I mean, I think it's a stupid play. It doesn't seem like it's something that advances the game, which Goodell wants. I do think he's going to get the necessary votes because I think he would have killed it if he wasn't. You know how Goodell is. What Goodell wants, Goodell gets. You just said it yourself. So I'm thinking they are going to get it. There are obviously going to be it's not going to be unanimous, that's for sure. There are teams that are for it and teams that are against it, and I think you know where that line in the sand is. And listen, it's part of the game, it's part of the strategy. So I think it's the wrong thing to do to ban it, but I can understand why people don't want to face it.
You really believe that this is, I mean, they're the best at it, and they're the ones that do it more than everybody else. But you think this is targeted at the Eagles? I just think it's an ugly looking play and it's a rugby play and they want to get it out of the league.
I don't think it's targeted at the Eagles per se. I think it's targeted at the fact that it isn't something that other teams can do. And whenever you have a play that other teams can't do, you look at it from a different perspective. I think there are owners and there are teams that are going to vote against it because of the Eagles, not necessarily the Eagles, but the fact that you can't stop it. It is an ugly play, but you're not going to just ban something because it's ugly. They're going to hide behind the safety is what it is. Just like they switched the kickoff rules, they're going to hide behind the safety of it. And that's eventually what's going to get it banned is, anytime someone says, hey, this leads to more concussions or knee injuries or yada, 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 that is when people will buckle and say, all right, it's a safety issue, let's get rid of it. But I think behind the scenes, I absolutely think there are teams that say we can't stop it. So, they're the champs and no one's been able to stop it for 3 years.
What I found interesting is I heard yesterday that basically in the last 20 years, teams running a QB sneak on 3rd or 4th and 1 had an 88% success rate in doing so. So before the tush push, the QB sneak was incredibly effective at doing what it's done. Now, we all know they do 3rd and 3 and 4th and 2, and they go for it a little longer. But I think we all believe the Eagles will still be really successful, even if they ban the tush push with the QB sneak. We had run tush push questions on our poll questions a million times. Yesterday, we ran one on the Olympics. Fans were against the players playing the Olympics. But as far as reseeding and have a straight seed, 1 through 7, our audience was torn. It was damn near 50-50. David's in the camp of leave it the way it is. I'm indifferent. I can't figure out if I want to go 1 through 7 or keep awarding division winners that 4 seed for being the worst division winner. I think this will pass for the reasons I indicated earlier. What Raj wants, Raj gets. Do you like the idea of a straight seeding 1 through 7 for the playoffs in each conference?
I do. I am for that, and I would vote for it. And here's the reasons why. I think it's not a good look, nor is it necessarily fair for a 9-8 or an 8-9 team to host the game while a 12-win team has to go on the road in the first round. And I know it happened last year with the Vikings. We don't know how good the Vikings actually were as they lost in that playoff game on the road to a very good Rams team, and I think it could have gotten different if they had played someone else. But I do think it makes it fair for who actually gets to host a home game. And now people would say, well, what's the point of winning your division? Well, in the case of the NFC South, it got you to the playoffs. It got you in. In the case of other divisions in the past, the NFC West threw a team out there many years ago that was under 500. The AFC South does it every single year. You still made the playoffs. So there is something for the division. And I know the other reason that Goodell really wants it is to make the last couple of weeks more competitive. And to be honest, Mark and David, this has been my biggest issue with the NFL schedule the last couple of years is the last couple of weeks, no matter what they've done, making them division matchups, whatever they've done, there are still too many games that absolutely don't matter. We know that we don't use the week for fantasy football. I call it the worst possible week to make any sports bets whatsoever because half the games don't mean anything when if the divisions are all wrapped up and the seeding's already done, at least this gives you the chance to say every game does matter because maybe you're going to move up from a 7 to a 6 or a 6 to a 5 or a 5 to a 4. When ultimately it wouldn't matter if you're automatically going to be the 4 and host the game. I think it does add some life to the end of the season. Listen, I get the people who are against it, who think it makes divisions worthless, and you get that little prize to winning the division, you get the home game, but isn't getting to the playoffs a prize as it is? So I like it. Personally speaking, it'll never happen because of the way the NFL has been structured. If you're going to go this far, you might as well continue going, just get rid of divisions altogether and just say, hey, the 7 best teams make the playoffs, which they basically do in the NBA. There are divisions, but no one really pays attention to them. They don't mean anything towards anything else. You can hang a banner, but at the end of the day, it's the 8 or 10 or whatever, how many teams in the NBA, all 50 of them make it, it seems like. But it does make it more fair for the rest of the competition to have it done by record. And I think that is ultimately what it is. If you're 12-5 and you have the second best record in the conference, why should you go on the road like the Vikings did last year just because, or if you're 13-4, just because there's a team in your division that beat you in the fourth quarter of the last game of the season?
So you don't think this will pass not just today, but it sounds like you don't think it's going to pass years down the road either.
Well, I mean, Roger wants, Roger gets, but I think there are too many distractors there that actually don't think it's a good thing, and they might need more time to figure it out. I would love for it to pass. I think it should pass, but I think there's too many distractors out there who are against it.
You know, Nick Sirianni just got a new contract, and deservedly so. 1 Super Bowl win, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 4 playoffs. This is quite a remarkable journey for a guy 4 weeks into last season who was on the hot seat, it seemed.
Yeah, it is remarkable because if you look at it, and that's actually the exact question I asked Sirianni at the Super Bowl when I raised my hand and accidentally got picked to do it, which I thought was great, was you had the collapse of the year before where they lost, I believe, 5 out of the last 6 games and got blown out in the playoffs. Then they start 2-2, and everybody was gunning for his head, and I flat out asked them, how did you keep control of your team and tell them the season's not over? I know we've lost a whole lot of games over the end of last season, this season. You turned it around and won the Super Bowl. And it is remarkable. And listen, I think a little bit too much was put on Sirianni you look at the inner workings of the Eagles, it is known that Jalen Hurts didn't necessarily get along with his teammates or A.J. Brown issues, and you brought in a new running back, and there were some internal issues which ultimately the coach needs to solve. But that doesn't mean it was the coach's fault to begin with. And I think the biggest thing Nick Sirianni did last year, especially over the last 2/3 of the season, was he just used the best players he had to go win the football game. Let's not get cute. Let's not get stupid. Let's hand the ball to Saquon Barkley, and let's do what we need to do, pass what we need to pass, run it down the throat with Barkley, and just play smart football, which you could accuse him of making dumb decisions in the past, and we've seen it. He just got out of the way and said, best players, go make your plays, and they wound up winning the Super Bowl, and he deservingly got his extension.
Well, and David also, he's been portrayed, and some of it's been his own doing, but he has been portrayed locally and to some extent nationally as a moron. and kind of a cartoon character, with his antics on the sidelines. Also, there are a lot of people around the Eagles who think that the assistants are the geniuses. Remember, went to the Super Bowl 3 years ago. Both assist coordinators got head coaching jobs. They win it this year, yeah, because they got the defensive coordinator that they really wanted. Okay, when Nick hired the guys that he wanted, they couldn't stop anybody. I mean, his rep for a guy who's had the success that he's had, he locally especially is seen as like a half a step above an idiot.
Well, welcome to the fandom of crazy fan bases like the Philadelphia Eagles. It never made much sense to me how they blamed him for everything. And yes, when you lose both assistants, unless your name is Bill Belichick, you're going to take a step back. Belichick was really the only one who was able to consistently put out winning teams despite losing his coordinators. It happens across the board, so it shouldn't surprise people. And yeah, he got the coordinator he wanted, but listen, it didn't work in Miami. Mike McDaniel got the same defensive coordinator to come down there and coach the defense as he's an offensive mind. Sirianni got Fangio to come in. It didn't work the same in Miami as it did in Philadelphia. So you got to give Sirianni some credit for at least allowing his coordinator to do what was deemed necessary. Obviously, there were issues with Fangio and the Dolphin defense and the players, and McDaniel wasn't able to solve that problem. At the end of the day, Nick Sirianni is the head coach of a team that just went to the Super Bowl and won, who went to the Super Bowl and lost late in the game a couple of years ago and consistently puts out a good product. He basically had one half of a season gone wrong. And yes, his antics and his sideline stuff and all that stuff comes to fruition. It comes to the forefront when you're losing. But I didn't hear many complaints late last year or in the Super Bowl when they were winning. And that's what it is in Philadelphia and a lot of these cities. It's what have you done for me lately? And don't get me wrong, Mark, they go out and start out, 0-3 this year or 1-4. And guess what? The people who think he's an idiot are going to come right back out. You'll hear them again. So it's what have you done for me lately in the NFL?
David Bearman, Chief Content Officer is his title at Pro Football Network, ProFootballNetwork.com. Follow him on X at David Bearman PFN, David Bearman PFN. Listen, we have 30 seconds. Are you a good flag football coach? Are you a player's coach? How does that work?
I am a good flag football coach. I am a player's coach, but my one mantra is don't ask me for the ball and don't ask me that you think you know a play. I'm the head coach. I'm the offense coordinator. I call the plays. We have won 4 titles in the last 7 years and come up second the other 3 times. So I would consider that successful.
Well, you're definitely not on the hot seat to begin year 8, but you never know with a couple of those parents that get upset what can happen. David, as always, thank you for your time and your insight. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Thanks, guys. You as well.
David Bearman, Pro Football Network, ProFootballNetwork.com. David Bearman, Bearman PFN. David Bearman PFN is how you follow him on X.
Our poll question today is about Red Sox manager Alex Cora. He missed a 7 p.m. game to attend his daughter's college graduation that was in the early afternoon, and it was just 3 miles from Fenway. Are you okay with Cora missing the game? And overwhelmingly, like 87% of you are okay with it. Once again, that makes me the a-hole because I think he should have been at the game. Miller and Moulton. Seth Everett coming up next hour. Thanks so much for listening. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to nolanagency.com. That's 941-639-1122. or nolanagency.com.
Summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Faro and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Faro and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Faro and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
Wine glasses never fall over until you get a brand new rug.
Oh no!
Ketchup bottles act normal till you're wearing a new shirt.
Oh, you kidding me?
And rocks slide peacefully on the road till the day you get a brand new windshield. Then they fly up off the road and attack without mercy. That's why new windshields from Glass Doctor come with our windshield protection plan. Unlimited repairs and one replacement for 12 months. Don't just fix it, protect it. Glass Doctor, a neighborly company.
We've got a text message for Dr. Dollar. A few of my friends are taking daily Cialis or Viagra. What are the benefits and how much does it cost?
Great question. Cialis, Tadalafil, and Viagra, Sildenafil are game changer for men who want better performance, stamina, and confidence. They improve blood flow, support long-lasting performance, and help you feel like yourself again. And the best part, at Revitalize Clinic, we make it affordable. Less than $1 per pill. No overpriced prescription, no hassle, just real results, American-made, at the best prices in town. Plus, with early hours starting at 5:30 in the morning, we fit your schedule.
Take control of your health today. Call Revitalize Clinic at 239-277-5770. Visit revitalizelounge.com or text Dr. Dollar directly at 239-980-2302. That's 239-980-2302. Get results. Get confidence. Revitalize Clinic, because every man deserves to perform at his best without breaking the bank. Text Dr. Dollar now at 239-980-2302.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, I've earned that. I'll take that bet. It's the first time you've ever really posted in here to tell me I'm an a-hole, Baker Vision, but I can't argue with you. On his hand on his back wouldn't, but if he pushes him, and that's where I've been the whole time. I have more of a problem with them pushing runners that are 5 yards down the field to give them an 8-10 yard gain than I do the tush push. I'm glad that they're going to ban both if they do ban it. Irish football, I was talking about you earlier. You weren't in here. Oh, where the hell is it? Hang on here. Bear with me. No, I don't think it's in that one. I think it's in this one. There's a job available for you out there. Because you're the smartest guy I've ever met. I mean, not really met you, but I mean, you're the smartest guy in the room, always. So I found a job for you. The Broncos are hiring a senior director of business intelligence and analytics. You need to apply for that today. It's perfect for you.
Feeney, what penalty are we talking about?
I don't know I don't know if the tush push, if someone pushes someone, if they make it illegal, what's the infraction is what
I thought I read they're talking about it being a 10-yard penalty. I thought I read that yesterday, that they're talking about it being 10 yards. So we'll see.
We got to do the coolest thing here in the second segment because we completely blew through it 7.
Okay.
Still don't have crap, but I'll figure something out.
He's better than that, Sonny.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home, Miller and Moulton on this hump day. So we're right smack dab in the middle of the show and the week, at least in the 239 and the 904. Lake City, Live Oak and surrounding areas, Port Charlotte, Venice and surrounding areas. It's the final hour of Miller and Moulton. Seth Everett will crash the party in a little more than 35 minutes time. Our poll question today, there's a Alex Cora controversy in Boston. There isn't one on this show yet. So Alex Cora's daughter graduated from college. She graduated from Boston College. It's 3 miles from Fenway Park. Graduation was during the day. Red Sox game was 7 o'clock at night. Cora missed the game. Some Red Sox fans and Red Sox media are freaking out. And so we're just asked you, are you okay with Alex Cora taking the day off for his daughter's college graduation, or should he have gone to the graduation and then gotten in the car and gone and done his job? So right now, overwhelmingly, you're like, yeah, I'm okay with him missing one game out of 162. At Mark Miller, the David Moulton, Miller_Moulton on X. So just asking.
Hockey playoffs. The conference finals began last night in both hockey and hoop. Neither were close. The Florida Panthers gave a master class on how to play physical hockey to the Carolina Hurricanes last night. The Carolina Hurricanes came into the game and thought they were going to out-hit the Panthers. They thought they were going to beat the Panthers at their game. The teams play eerily similar styles. However, the Panther style is predicated on a little more hitting. The Hurricanes last night did everything in their power to match Florida's feistiness. In fact, they were feistier. They hit every bit as much. They were dirtier. That's not close. They got run out of their own building.
Because the Panthers just have more better players. They just do.
Particularly if they're going to play that style. Carolina has to try to outskate the Florida Panthers, not out-hit the Florida Panthers. And David, you sent me a text last night that was so right on point, you kind of beat me to it. And the announcer said it even as well. I don't know if it was before or after you texted it to me. But David simply sent me a text as we were going back and forth during the game and said Carolina is realizing that they're not playing New Jersey or Washington anymore.
Step up in class. This is cruiserweight to heavyweight right here. And that's, is that a knock on Carolina calling them cruiserweights? I mean, they've been the same organization and team for 7 years now. They've made the playoffs 7 years in a row. And not only have they made the playoffs 7 years in a row, they've won at least one round in the playoffs 7 years in a row. I mean, imagine an NFL team that makes the playoffs 7 years in a row and wins a playoff game 7 years in a row. So, now obviously in the NFL, you could get a bye. And then if you win one playoff game, next thing you know, you're in the conference championship. But imagine Mark, to call the Carolina Hurricanes the Baltimore Ravens. Am I in the ballpark?
I think you are. I think that's a really accurate statement. And I really like Rod Brindamore, their head coach. He and I are the same age. He's a Michigan State guy. We actually had a class together. I don't know him. Don't know him at all. Didn't know him then. Don't know him now. But he's always been known as, one, he was an excellent student, which doesn't happen too often for the college athlete. More times, he was really smart. I think he was like all academic or all Big Ten hockey or whatever. Well, they didn't have the Big Ten, CCHA. Went to the pros, had a really nice career, hoisted a cup.
As the captain, yes.
And now is the coach of the team that he captained. There are many in hockey who are not necessarily rooting for Carolina, but look at Brindamore and go, it would be a hell of a story if he were to be able to hoist the cup as a coach for all the time he's put in Carolina. But when you talk, we were just talking about Sirianni being, and I'm not saying Brendamore's on the hot seat. But when I just give you this stat, do you know that last night was Carolina's 13th consecutive loss in the conference final? They were swept in 2009, they were swept in 2019, and they were swept in 2023. That's 13 straight conference final games they've lost. That's staggering.
But what does it scream? It screams exactly who they are. They can make the playoffs. They will win a round in the playoffs. Hell, they might even occasionally win 2 and get to the conference finals. And then, that they've maxed out, man. They ain't any better than that. I mean, that's the NFL team who makes the playoffs, wins a game, I guess every now and then wins a divisional playoff game, and they're in the conference championship game. And then when they go there, they get drilled because it's like, we're stepping up in class tonight. We can't go beat the 1 seed on the road. What are we thinking? So in that case, I think we think more highly of the Ravens because we think the Ravens are capable of winning when they get to the conference championship game, even though they haven't done it in the last 12 years.
And I will say this, and we alluded to it in the first hour of the show today. If Bob plays like that, might be another damn sweep.
Yeah, they have no chance. They have no chance.
I mean, Anderson's got to be the best goalie in this series, and he had been the best goalie in the playoffs thus far. He wasn't last night. It wasn't close.
Nope.
Great goals by the Panthers, who, again, had 5 different goal scorers last night.
No. Hey, Bob's been the best goalie so far in every series he's played in. He out-goalied Vasilevsky. Okay. He certainly was better than the Leafs backup, who had his moments, but from the beginning of the series to the end of the series, Bob was better.
But, midway through the second period last night, it looked like it was still a game. There was a moment, middle of the second period, when it was 3-1. Bobrovsky got caught without his goal stick. Great opportunity in the slot for Carolina. They missed it. It would have made it a 3-2 game, much like the NBA game last night, in which the T-Wolves took a lead into halftime, had a 4-point lead. And then the team who won the most games in the regular season, 68 of them this year, showed why. They had smothering defense in the second half. They started hitting all of their shots. If I'm not mistaken, Minnesota was like 35% from the floor in the second half, 22% from beyond the arc in the second half, and the Oklahoma City Thunder routed them in game 1.
And in the decisive third quarter, I think at one point the Wolves missed 11 straight shots, while Oklahoma City was scoring 70 in the second half. Outscored Minnesota 70-40 after halftime. Ouch. So you had a road team who's the defending Stanley Cup champion win last night. You had a home team who's the last elite seed left in the playoffs. They're the 1. Minnesota's a 6. Knicks are a 3. Indiana's a 4.
And Oklahoma City, out of the 8 teams that we have between basketball and hockey in the conference finals, Oklahoma City is the overwhelming favorite. They were minus 165 to win the championship at the start of the semis. Nobody in the NHL was a minus number. I want to say that I thought that the Panthers were, I think, the leader at like plus 230 or something like that.
Yeah, it's actually all pretty close.
Yeah, they're all really close. Exactly.
The Canes are like almost 4-1. Okay, they're last. But Dallas and Edmonton are both like 250 and 265. Florida's like 235. So, and we'll have Derek Schultz on at the top of the bonus hour to give the Indianapolis perspective. But does anybody care about the Knicks-Pacers series? Because, I'm biased here. I grew up a Knicks fan. It's been 20. I'm all in. It's been 25 years. Knicks have, in my lifetime, the Knicks have played in the finals twice. And that was in the 90s. Because I was 7 when they won their last title. And I didn't become a Knicks fan until I was like 10 or 11.
And David, this isn't directed at you. The only reason that I'm not outwardly just blatantly rooting for the Pacers right now is because of you. I would like to see you be happy with your team, but the national media is killing me with the Knicks.
I tell you that?
Literally listening to Kendrick Perkins this morning on my drive-in, something he said yesterday. Oh, the Knicks have a great shot to win the NBA. Of course they do. They're 1 of 4 left, but they're not better than Oklahoma City. I mean, come on. There's one team that the Vegas odds makers are saying is going to win the NBA championship, and it's not close. So do they have a shot? 1 in 4, yes. But they're acting like they're going to breeze through this series with the Pacers, and I don't know where the hell that's coming from.
I'm just curious, the anti-New York sentiment that's out there in all sports. Then what I brought up last week, which was I thought the national media is killing the Knicks. Okay, and not killing the Knicks as in saying bad things about them, as in they're so blatantly rooting and obnoxiously like fans talking about the Knicks. It's like, hey, they're a good team. They're a very good team. They played one great game against the Celtics. They did. If that team could show up for the next month, I'd be curious if that team could win it all. The Game 16. That team was a great team. But I'm just curious, are people into this series at all? Or are they like, nah, man, no. And no Lakers, no Celtics. Okay.
Well,
no.
By and large, the NBA not by and large, the NBA playoffs are up from a year ago, television-wise. They're up about 4%. So people are interested in these playoffs, and that's remarkable considering who's still playing, David.
Conference finals last year out west, it was Dallas and Minnesota. And in the East, it was Indiana and Boston. So 2 of the 4 are the same. But I'm just curious, are people, bored by it? Really interested? Yeah, I'm really interested. And I am rooting against the Knicks because I don't even watch them play, but I'm just rooting against the media and how obnoxious they are, and they're rooting for the Knicks. Miller and Moulton. Seth Everett in about 25 minutes.
For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
Whether you're chasing peak performance, reigniting intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health creates customized game plans to optimize your health. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs and Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for 10% off your service. Find your maximum self with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs, and Naples, Florida. Call 239-427-3441 today.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Basketball's heating up the hardwood. What a great time to stop in at the Floor Meisters and look at their hardwood. A large selection to choose from, including Mirage hardwood flooring. Floor Meisters has a look and style you want. Mirage wood is grown and made in Canada from the finest quality wood flooring you'll find. And while you're in, ask to see the Petite Enfant collection. 5 custom colors made only for the Floor Meisters. So good it has a 35-year warranty. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard, next to Costco, or floormeisters.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
TV bar's not low, CBW, for the NBA. They're doing just fine. The regular season numbers were down. Their playoff numbers are up. I don't know what to tell you. I know you guys all hate the NBA, and I get it. There's a lot of reasons to not like the league, but the numbers are what they are.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. David Bearman joined us last hour. If you missed our chat with the gentleman from Pro Football Network, you can go to millerandmoulton.com and download what you missed. Seth Everett will join us on the American Paint Supplies hotline coming up in a little more than 15 minutes' time.
We missed it last hour because we got on a tangent. Shocker on Miller and Moulton. But time now for the coolest thing I've seen today, brought to you by my good friends at Air Advantage. If you're looking for a new air conditioning system or need repair or maintenance on your current one, call Air Advantage today. 239-433-4635. 239-433-4635 or myairadvantage.com. They are offering 18 months, no interest, no payments. Pretty good deal in and of itself. They're a Ream Pro partner. Check them out, myairadvantage.com. I struggled today to find one. I actually had a couple of people text me with ideas, but they really didn't have anything to do with sports, so I let those slide. Although I must say that the fact that there was the first bladder transplant done yesterday medically, I thought that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Right.
Okay. If we're going there.
Right, exactly.
Right.
My mom is a survivor of bladder cancer, so when I read that article, for those people who have to undergo all of the things my mom did now 11, 12 years ago, if that's a response that's better than good, that's great. But this is pretty good too. We go to Minnesota, where Niles Goldbranson, 25 years old, was playing men's league soccer, 25-year-old, and he collapsed. Says the last thing I remember is the second half started. And he didn't respond. He fell down. One of his friends, who was an opponent of his, but they were college friends, came to his rescue, performed CPR for 6 minutes. They had to bring a defibrillator out. At one point, he appeared to stop breathing. They used CPR. They used the defibrillator. They were able to get him breathing again and, quite frankly, save the man's life on the soccer field. I don't know if anything gets much cooler than that, David. And that's what I've got today for the coolest thing I've seen today. Brought to you by Air Advantage. Visit them online, myairadvantage.com.
You know, sometimes we joke, about, certain people, rival teams and what have you, and nice to hear a story like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That similar thing happened to a friend of mine and a guy that I've known for years down here. He actually went down this a few months ago, had a heart attack playing pickleball. And luckily the EMT's station was really close to the pickleball place and they came over, and Lou's doing great now. And so these things happen all the time. There are lots of heroes out there that are doing incredible things. Most of them are first responders.
Okay. How long do you have to wait till you can bust Lou's chops about having a heart attack playing pickleball?
If I played pickleball with him regularly, and I don't play pickleball and probably never will, I would say the next time that I saw him.
So next time that you saw him, or next time that you were on the pickleball court with him? Because I'm guessing he missed his regular game a few days later or the next week. I'm guessing. I might be wrong. I mean, Lou might have, dusted himself off and been fine. I'm just wondering, obviously poking fun at yourself because you've already gone from tennis to pickleball. Now
Right.
You have the heart attack playing pickleball. I mean,
Do you just deliver a ping pong table to his house and call it a day?
well, exactly. I mean, at what point, are we in the recliner eating a pizza, watching TV, and it's going to happen? So that's, I'm just curious how long you have to wait till you can bust Lou's chops. He survived it. He's doing well. Does he have a good sense of humor? How long do you have to wait till you bust him about having a heart attack playing pickleball?
Well, since I know him from playing men's league hockey against him, again, it would be a nanosecond for me. And he'd be able to take it. There's no
Right.
doubt there.
And obviously the pickleball didn't cause the heart attack. It just happened to be where he was. But you can make great fun of it, though, and light of it anyway. And you can make fun of it because he's okay. That's why you can make fun of it. I mean, come on. The next time you're at the rink and he puts on the skates, I mean, come on. Tell me the guys don't go, oh, man, I don't know. I mean, you had a heart attack playing pickleball. Are you sure you can play in the men's league?
Trust me, he hasn't laced up the skates. None of us have in a long, long time. So he's not going back to the ice anytime soon. And we do go to the ice. I'm fired up. This is the only other part, back to your Knicks series and the Knicks Pacers. Part of the reason that I'm not into this series is that I'm all over Dallas Edmonton. I can't wait to watch Dallas and Edmonton. It's the series of the 4 that I'm the most excited about the play, because I don't know who's going to win. I have a pretty good thought that the Florida Panthers were going to win. I had a pretty good thought that Oklahoma City was going to win the series. And Knicks Pacers, that's a toss up to me. And then I think the Oilers and Stars is a huge toss up as well. So I am really into that hockey series.
All right. We talked about this when the NHL playoffs got underway, in which we said this is probably going to be a rough NHL ratings postseason for just who wasn't in it and who the really good teams are that's in it. Do you think at this stage of the game, not that the NHL is going to do anything to, fix and create the finals that they want, but do you think at this point the NHL is like, let's do the rematch? Let's do the rematch. Get me Connor McDavid. Get me, Edmonton, trying to be the first Canadian team in over 30 years. He's the best player in the game. They're clearly the best team. Florida, they went 7 last year. Let's do it again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for one reason and one reason only. Connor McDavid. The one thing that the sports fan has really gravitated to me, in probably the last 10 years, and David, it may be a little longer than that, but one, we figured out, if it's a game of consequence, people watch. Mm-hmm. But people also want to watch the best player in any sport. And Connor McDavid is clearly the best player in hockey. And everybody now knows that. And they will promote the hell out of getting the best player in a rematch against the defending champs all day long. Dallas is a huge market. They're not going to lose by getting the Dallas market in, but I think they bring in the entire sports world when you bring McDavid in, because people like to watch the best players.
I also think the whole Canadian franchise against American franchise thing could be promoted. I do. After not just our politics, but after the 4 nations thing. Okay. And I'm just saying. Now, in the NBA, we have occasionally thought of the league's officiating as being WWE-esque. Do you think the Knicks get calls in the Knicks Pacers series? Because, Mark, obviously the NBA wants the Knicks in the finals. Come on.
David, you would think that would be the case, but I don't feel like, even in the Detroit series, and Detroit played the Knicks really, really physically. Really physically. I don't think that the Knicks got the overwhelming, they got the one big call at the end of the game. I get it. But I don't think they overwhelmingly got calls in that series. I don't think they overwhelmingly got calls in the Boston series. I actually think that the officiating's been pretty damn good.
No. I do too. But, we think this series is going to be tight. We think this is going to be a long series. Just curious if at any point in the series we think the Knicks are getting the benefit of the whistle, because the NBA has been accused at times of, putting their thumb on the scales.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I really don't.
All right. Miller and Moulton. Seth Everett is next.
Southwest Florida's scorching heat is on its way. Stay cool with Air Advantage. As a proud Rheem Pro partner, Air Advantage delivers top-notch air conditioning solutions to keep you cool and comfortable. Right now, enjoy 18 months, no interest, no payments on qualifying systems. Call 433-4635 today for expert installation and unbeatable comfort all summer long. Online at myairadvantage.com. Air Advantage. Call today, 433-4635. American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from that fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
Hi, Seth.
Hi.
How are you?
Is this better lighting?
Yes, much.
Right?
That's as clear as you've probably ever been doing this segment.
Well, we want a funny thing? I was going to buy a $64 light. That was going to be a big ring, and it was going to be hot, and I didn't want it. And it's been sitting in the Amazon cart. And then after your show last week, I was like, this is getting tiresome. Like, this is ridiculous. And I started going into the settings of the camera. And you can raise the brightness.
Yes, you can.
That's all I did.
It looks better. And Irish football, Nathan McKinnon's a great hockey player. He is not Connor McDavid. He's not. He's terrific. Nobody is Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid might be the best player who's ever put on skates. I'm not messing around. His ability to handle the puck at top speed is unlike anything I've ever seen. And that's not just for me. I worked in the sport for 20 years. I still talk to guys who played pro hockey. When the pro hockey player marvels at Connor McDavid the way that they do, of the things he can do that they can't even comprehend, it is McKinnon's great. He's great. He ain't Connor McDavid.
No, nobody is. That series starts tonight.
Yes, and they're all at 8:00. I'm so excited.
I know it sucks. Blows.
What do you mean it sucks?
It's too late.
No, they're at 8. I thought they'd be at 8:30 or 9 because
okay.
Central or Mountain. I'm excited. Their games will be, unless it's overtime, they'll be over.
We were annoyed. We finished dinner at 6:45. We were ready to watch the game, and then it was like an hour and 15 minutes. I can't.
Got so much crap with my daughter on a nightly basis between soccer and gymnastics, and I'm running everywhere. So it's like 8:00's perfect.
Got it.
Okay. You know what, Irish football? You're right. Nathan McKinnon's better because he's won one effing Stanley Cup. Jesus Christ. That is the most lame argument ever, dude. Enough.
He's mad at me, Dan.
Sorry, Nathan McKinnon's the greatest. The Colorado Avalanche are the greatest. Notre Dame's the greatest. And the Denver Broncos are the best effing football team to ever play. You're the smartest human on earth. Good God. You don't know at a fraction about hockey of what I do. Spent my whole goddamn life in the sport. Stop.
What you eating, David?
Good God.
PB&J.
Nice. PB&J at 8:30. No judgment. No judgment. No
Not
judgment. No judgment.
You can judge all you want.
Nope.
When you do a morning show, it's different.
Okay.
I mean,
that's fair.
Because also, like, I've been up 5 hours.
No, I know. I understand.
So, for most people, 5 hours after they get up, what time is it? Are they eating lunch?
Right.
If you get up at 7.
Totally understand.
Right.
No,
I'm having a great day. I'm having a great show. I'm enjoying every part of my show. I love my day. I've just had enough of let's make sure we can find the one little thing to poke at. Go get him. Never had someone make me root against his teams more than he does.
Oh, leave a couple of minutes for Hall of Justice. I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Sports with Friends is your guy. It's Pat Kerwin, but Hall of Justice, I have a debate. I don't know what to. It's not a massive debate, but it's a
Star Wars.
What?
Star Wars.
No,
That's his answer.
That's not the debate.
Oh, sorry.
I was like, what? Huh? Where? It's on now? I was teaching my kid about how certain things from Disney Plus are from Hulu, and we have Hulu. She says, is everything from Hulu?
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes until the top of the hour. Derek Schultz will join us then. We'll get an Indianapolis perspective of Knicks Pacers and also maybe talk Caitlin Clark a bit because, well, the Fever get the same crowds that the Pacers do these days. I don't want to say she's a phenomenon or anything, but Derek Schultz in a little more than 20 minutes time. Seth Everett, he's not a phenomenon, but he is a big part of this show. He's been a part of it for nearly 20 years. I mean, I think, Seth, we both had you as guests when we were doing solo shows before we teamed up. I mean, we've been talking a long time. How are you?
Yeah. I had darker hair.
I will say the brightness of your camera gives you a little orange hue of the hair.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a work in progress.
Seth found the brightness button on his camera today. He's very excited.
Very excited. I don't look like I'm in the witness protection program anymore.
Right. That's true. You have some coloring in your face. That is true. Does it ever anger you? Twitch.tv/Miller and Moulton. You can see the three of us. Does it ever anger you that you've gone gray? Not totally gray. You're still salt and pepper. I'm salt.
Gray. Yeah.
I'm salt. In person, I'm a little less, but on TV, I'm definitely salt. Mark still has 4 gray hairs, Doesn't he?
No, it doesn't. Gray hair doesn't bother me.
Exactly like he did when you first met him?
Yeah, he does look exactly the same. That's right.
Yes.
It could be a picture. It could be like a picture, a stock photo for like a media credential from 15 years ago. No, I started growing gray when I was in my late 20s. And at the time, I was working at MLB and I was doing SNY a lot. And they were like, you're too young to have gray hair. And so I colored it for 10 years. And my hair was colored for 10 years. And this amazing woman. And then when I was hitting 39/40, I just said, this is stupid. This is not me. And I just let it go. And since then, I've been gray this whole time. And and the other thing is I go to this barber shop, the men barber shop place. And at the end of my haircut, they always take thinning shears to take the thickness out of my hair.
Right.
And one time the guy says, is there anything else that you do? And I said, yeah, they usually take thinning shears. The guy next to me says, F you.
Wow.
He's like, my hair's thinning. Everybody here's thinning. You're thick. You need thinning shears. I was like, sorry.
Wow.
The lesson is it's always good to have the hair, but it doesn't matter what color it is. Having hair always beats not having hair. That's the lesson that I've learned.
Okay. I mean, I still have I have hair and it's not gray, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Miller and Moulton, MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Seth, of course, the two terrific podcasts, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice, and you can follow Seth on X at Seth_Everett, Seth_Everett. By the way, you really went out. But you had Pat Kerwin on Sports with Friends this week?
Did he talk about it on the show?
No, we have not talked to Pat at all about his little conversation.
He said he was going to promote it on your show and on his Sirius show, and I don't know, and I don't know if he did or not.
Well, he's on again Friday, so I'm sure that he will.
Yeah, he was great, really great. He told in grand detail his origin story, which you can research, and I knew who he was, but I didn't know all the details. And it turns out that there's a very, very good chance that I met him in 1994 because I was a junior at Syracuse, and we were doing an Orange Men in the NFL feature, and I had a chance to interview Art Monk. And I me and a buddy drove from Syracuse to Hofstra, where the Jets trained, to interview Art Monk. And Pete Carroll couldn't have been nicer. Heard we were students, asked us all what we're doing and what we were looking for, and he was showing us around and all that stuff. I guarantee you, Pat and I crossed paths that day.
And Pete Carroll, that was his one and only year as
Correct.
head coach of the Jets. That was the year that Marino nearly ruined Pete Carroll's career because the Jets and Dolphins are tied for first in 94, and Marino does the fake spike play. Miami comes back from a significant deficit, beats the Jets. That game was for first place in the East. At the time, the Dolphins go on, I think, to win the division. The Jets don't win another game, lose their last 5, go 6-10, and Leon Hess fired Pete after 1 year as head coach.
And Greg Buttle, when Giant Stadium was being torn down, I was at ESPN, and we all had to go around the room and say our greatest Giant Stadium memory. And I said the Marino fake spike. And Greg Buttle comes over to me and says, you met your wife in the press box. And I said, oh, yeah. And so I did that one. And then it gets to him, and he goes, hey, the Marino fake spike. You just took my thing. That's why he did it.
So Seth, our poll question today is about Alex Cora.
Yeah,
he attended his daughter's graduation just down the road. Could have obviously made the game and didn't. Now, I don't get it. I would have been at the game. I didn't miss it. When I broadcast games, I never missed a game. I didn't miss it.
Yeah. No, I understand your point, and I just don't think it's as egregious. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I have been on a soapbox recently about this Rafael Devers first base thing. I don't care that he's hitting now. I think it is absolutely shameful that Rafael Devers didn't say, where do I get a first base glove, coach? I can't. The idea of a team, you just do it. What Alex Cora did is he said, give me 1 day for my family and leave me alone. I agree with Mark, but I don't find it to be as egregious. I think the idea that Devers doesn't want to talk about it, the owner went to Kansas City to meet with Devers, and he's still not doing it. And when Tristan Casas got hurt, I was on in Boston and immediately said Rafael Devers should find a first baseman's glove. I cannot believe this selfish player will not take one for the team. The Red Sox are a better team with him playing first base.
Do you think the Red Sox ultimately plan to trade him over this year? Or because to me, if you're not going to trade him, then I would go to war with him. Now, I know that's my personality, but I'm serious. If he'd be sitting on the bench, and I know it would hurt the team, But listen, you're not helping the team by your selfishness, so I'm going to trump it. You're going to no.
I felt bad. I felt bad when they asked him to be the DH when they brought in the other guy. What's his
Why?
name?
He's a
no. I felt bad. I felt bad. I'm not saying that he should have complained. I'm saying I felt bad. He wants to be a position player. He should be a position player, and I get it. But you have to make decisions, and the other guy's a better third baseman, so that's fine. When Tristan Casas gets hurt, he should say, whatever you need. This is a team. There are offensive linemen, centers that play guard when a guard gets hurt. There are hockey players that play out of position all the time. Soccer players give their bodies for this sport. Rafael Devers played first base.
See, Seth, I got to be honest with you. Like, Mark and I are both minor league play-by-play guys. We're pretty good, okay? But, I did a little hockey. I can't do hockey like Mark. I'm not in Mark's area code. Okay, honestly, it's like we're two different skills.
Yes, but if Mark had laryngitis, you could say, I'll do it for a day.
I could fill in, but Rafael Devers is one of the 5 worst third basemen in Major League Baseball. Rafael Devers was at third to hide him because the least amount of balls
he played first base.
But I'm just saying, but
they put the worst defender in first base.
But they hide you at third. They don't put the worst defender at first anymore because you touch the ball a lot more often. They've actually put him at third. You touch the ball 3 times a game at third. Okay. I mean, to me, it would be like Mark, for whatever reason, and he can't, the radio station's bringing in Mark to do play-by-play of hockey. Well, I know my days are over doing play-by-play of hockey. He's better.
But in the whole thing I had with it, I'm actually with both of you on this because Devers had the right to be upset. If they're paying him that much and he's one of the big parts of their team, they needed to let him know that they were bringing Bregman in at third. He didn't need to find out because the Boston Herald reporter called him and told him, if you know what I mean. So the Red Sox handled that wrong. Devers has handled all of this wrong.
All of it. I just when the first one happened, I felt
Devers
bad.
has acted like a petulant child throughout all of this.
Oh, it's terrible, terrible. And
but by the way,
walk-offs and they're praising him.
Guys to do what management wants. It would be nice if the manager showed up for every game instead of taking a night off.
Fair.
Sorry,
fair. That's why you have dark hair.
Wait, because we're stressing our kids' graduation and Mark didn't stress his son and won't stress his daughter in a few years?
I guess I'm a horrible... I didn't even go to my son's college graduation. I went to his high school graduation. His college graduation took him 5 years to get out of an average school. Come on.
It snowed at my graduation in May.
Yeah, my wife got her doctorate at Syracuse, and there was a huge snowstorm like the day before. We were walking on campus for the ceremony, and there was literally a foot of snow and mounds of it everywhere, and it was the second week of May.
Doesn't help you get up after being hungover the night before for the day before graduation, looking out your window and seeing snowfall.
No, lake effect snow is not just a winter thing. It can be a fall, spring thing, too, if you're a school near a lake. We all know that. But I'm serious. Devers would still be sitting on the bench if I ran the Red Sox. And I know the season would go to blank, and I don't care. You are not playing until you grab a first baseman's glove.
And half of Boston is in his corner. Like, this is a perfect sports radio topic. And if you turn on any of their sports radio, I've listened to their podcasts. I've listened. Half the city thinks he's right. It's shocking to me.
Well, you know why it is, though. They're mad with management. They haven't had a winning season in 4 years. Okay, they're mad.
Long-suffering Red Sox fans.
Yeah, I know.
So tough being a Boston sports fan.
I know the four World Series titles this century. Okay, but they are. So right now they feel Cora's done. He's outlived his usefulness as manager. Okay, the GM's been there an hour, so he hasn't done anything, and they're angry at the owner because they don't feel he's done enough, and they're still angry about Mookie Betts. Okay,
the owner, by the way, won the English Premier League. Liverpool won. That's his team.
And that's another thing. Okay. You talk to an American sports fan and they do not want to see and hear about their billionaire owner celebrating, winning a Premier League title. They want an American League title.
But to that end, we were talking about the Mets-Yankees rivalry, this Mets-Yankees rivalry. Is it really based on an owner who spends more money? What a gaudy, obnoxious rivalry.
Listen, all right. We know you have Pat Kerwin on Sports with Friends. You already talked about it. You said you needed a little time for Hall of Justice. Go.
Okay. So the guest is Axel Alonso. He's the former editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics. That's done. George Wendt passed away yesterday.
Right.
I have 6 minutes of an interview I did with George Wendt from 2019. I was at a Comic-Con. He was there. He was super nice, but I only got 5 minutes with him. And I never made a podcast out of it. Do I air portions of it in the beginning? Do I air it at the end? Do I just do social media and not touch the podcast? What would you do?
I would just put it out on social media in its entirety, because the head of Marvel Comics or the editor, I mean, that's a pretty good get in that world. It's not my world, but I know that's a big get.
Right. And George Wendt has nothing. It's not even adjacent.
Not at all.
Right.
So I would just either put it out as its own podcast, or I would put it up on social media.
Okay. Social media, then. Axel Alonso I'll do for the Hall of Justice, but I might play 60 seconds of it in the beginning just to acknowledge. I was a huge George Wendt fan, and he was super nice when I met him. I met him once in Chicago, of all places, which is where he's from, and he was very, very cool about sitting down with me. And like I said, he only had a couple minutes, but he did it, and I never could turn it into a podcast, so I never did it. But when he died, I said, I remember I had this, and I went into my archives and I found that interview, and lo and behold.
Seth Everett, Sports with Friends, Hall of Justice, and a special 6-minute interview with the late George Wendt. Okay. Coming up this week. Follow Seth on X at Seth_Everett. Seth, thanks, buddy. All the best.
See you guys.
You look so much better with the lighting, by the way.
The lighting is so much better.
Makes all the difference in the world. The hair is still gray and thinning, however.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Wine glasses never fall over until you get a brand new rug.
Oh, no!
Ketchup bottles act normal till you're wearing a new shirt.
Oh, you kidding me?
And rocks slide peacefully on the road till the day you get a brand new windshield. Then they fly up off the road and attack without mercy. That's why new windshields from Glass Doctor come with our windshield protection plan. Unlimited repairs and one replacement for 12 months. Don't just fix it, protect it. Glass Doctor. A neighborly company.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. I've been a customer for over a year and cannot say enough good things about their service and communication. If you're a business owner, you can trust Molly Maid to do an exceptional job. Their expert team delivers tailored cleaning for whatever your needs, ensuring a pristine environment for clients and staff. Visit mollymaid.com/FT-Myers or call 239-418-0052. Molly Maid makes my home shine, and it will make your home or business shine too.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
We've got a text message for Dr. Dollar. I feel tired, sluggish, and just not myself. I'm gaining weight, my energy is low, and I've lost my drive. Could it be low testosterone?
Absolutely. Testosterone naturally declines over time, but you don't have to accept it. Low T can affect your energy, strength, mood, and focus. But here's the good news. Testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, can help restore your vitality and get you back to feeling your best. Imagine waking up strong, sharp, and energized, ready to take on the day like you used to. At Revitalize Clinic, we specialize in physician-guided, American-made TRT designed just for you.
Take control of your health today. Call Revitalize Clinic at 239-277-5770. Visit revitalizelounge.com or text Dr. Dollar directly at 239-980-2302. Feel like yourself again. Testosterone replacement therapy, because your best years aren't behind you, they're just getting started. Text Dr. Dollar now at 239-980-2302.
This is Miller and Moulton.
We obviously haven't touched on this because we don't, and maybe we should, but Clay Travis just put out a poll question on X.
Okay.
One of the greatest poll questions I've ever seen. More likely to happen. North Carolina wins the ACC during Belichick's coaching tenure, or Belichick gets his 24-year-old girlfriend pregnant.
Wow.
Oh my God, is that funny?
Wow.
That is something. Rumors are they're engaged. Did you see the name of the boat? What, because the name of the boat was 8 rings and now it's 1 plus 8 rings.
Yep.
And I will tell you, Irish football, on the rant I had on you before, I would love one time when we say name the best player for you to name someone that doesn't play for one of your favorite teams. Because if Nathan McKinnon played for the Detroit Red Wings, you wouldn't give a rat's ass about him. Your line is your teams are the greatest and everybody else sucks. I've watched it for a year in here. And I love how much you love your teams. But you're very jaded when it comes to how good your team's players are in comparison to the rest of the sports world. Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon's better than Connor. It's not a healthy debate. It's a stupid debate. It's absolutely stupid. Nobody in the sport thinks that. But you're obviously right. Once again, you're smarter than me, dude. You are way smarter than me. I apologize again. You're right. I'm wrong. I wish I had your personal phone number so when I have dilemmas in life, I could just reach out to you for the right answer on everything.
This is where Jim Carrey enters the scene and goes, "All righty then."
All set.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the bonus hour of Miller and Moulton on this hump day. Thanks for getting over it with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Derek Schultz is kind enough to join us for the first time. He co-hosts Query and Schultz for the ISC Sports Network in Indianapolis. You can follow Derek on X at Schultz975, Schultz, SCHULTZ 97.5. Derek, good morning. It's David and Mark. How are you?
Mark, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Well, it's our pleasure. In Indianapolis and surrounding areas, is this just a Pacers thing, or is this, us against the world? The media is all rooting for the Knicks. Okay. Does what happened in the 90s and early 2000s play into this at all between the two teams? Just take us to, from the Pacers and the market standpoint, where are we with this series?
Yeah, it's a great question because out here in the Midwest, and this is probably true of Milwaukee, I know it's true of Cleveland, Detroit, it's always us against the world. That's just how us Midwestern folk, guys, that's how people treat everything out here. So that storyline, whether it's the Colts, whether it's the Pacers, hell, whether it's the Indiana Fever, that storyline is omnipresent. But I think what's special about this series is that this really is, maybe outside of the Tom Brady Patriots during the height of the Peyton Manning era, this is the most hated rival of Indianapolis sports history in the New York Knicks. Certainly has the longest standing rivalry and one that now goes back multiple generations. So yes, the 90s stuff weighs in, and we're seeing Reggie Miller highlights and Patrick Ewing highlights and then the 2000s highlights and even from 2013, the Roy Hibbert block on Carmelo Anthony, a series that the Knicks won and that the Pacers won in 6 games over the Knicks. And even last year. So yes, all of it is kind of intertwined into one big ball here about us against the world. Everyone wants to see the Knicks win. And hey, this is arguably the second greatest rivalry outside of Lakers Celtics that the NBA has produced. Certainly longest standing one.
All right. Tyrese Halliburton against Brunson has been the storyline that they've tried to create. Outside of Halliburton, who's the most important player in this series for the Pacers?
I think the most important player, it's going to be a weird answer here and a little bit of an off-the-cuff answer here, is it's potentially Aaron Nesmith. He will likely guard Brunson again. The first 2 games in the second-round series last year was Andrew Nembhard against Jalen Brunson, and Brunson really had his way on him, and the Knicks took a 2-0 lead. And the series really shifted once Nesmith, who's bigger, ended up on Brunson. And he's had a fantastic playoff so far. He's a do-everything, Swiss Army knife, insert cliche, glue guy, all that stuff. I mean, he's all of that wrapped up into one, guys. And he's so key to the Pacers' success. Yes, of course, it's a stars league, and Halliburton and Siakam are going to have to be stars, right? Miles Turner's going to have to play really well. But I think that the key to the Knicks winning this series is getting really, really good play from Aaron Nesmith on both ends to not only keep Brunson in check, but also produce offensively, because this is the Knicks team that is much better than the version that they saw a year ago.
Derek Schultz taking me where I wanted to go. It's easy to point out the difference in the Knicks from last year to this year. First off, they traded Randall and DiVincenzo for Karl Anthony Towns, and they happened to be banged up last year during the series and got really banged up by the end of the series. Let's talk about the Pacers, though. How, if at all, are the Pacers different than the team that, oh, by the way, also went to the conference finals last year?
Yeah, I think you saw individual improvement really across the board on this team. Even things that you wouldn't think of, like, this isn't saying much, guys, but Tyrese Halliburton's a much better defender than he was last year. You're never going to mistake him for prime Ron Artest or anything like that, but he is at least holding his own on that end and has actually made some key defensive plays so far in these playoffs. Their younger players, now that they've been through the wars, have improved. Andrew Nembhard is so key to what they do, and he's become a big clutch shooter for them and is a terrific defender and a great passer and a great ball handler. And he can do kind of like Aaron Nesmith. He's kind of the guard version of that, where he can do everything well. And just taking another step forward as a team, the Pacers are very old school guys. This doesn't really happen in the league anymore, where a lot of people are saying, oh, they're the 2021 Hawks, and this is just a fly-by-night. And here they are again to make a second consecutive Eastern Conference Finals appearance, and to do so by beating a team in the first round that people didn't necessarily know that they would beat in Milwaukee, and really crushing a 64-win Cavs team. And yeah, injuries played a part of that, but you guys, you go back and look at that series. I mean, they dominated that series, and that's a team that won 64 games this year. So I think it's just evident not only in some of the individual improvement, but the results that you've seen. This was a 50-win basketball team. They started 10-15, and after that, they tore off 49 wins in their next 66 games. I mean, they're winning games at a 70% clip. This is a really, really good basketball team, and it's all coming together for them at the right time right now.
When I was piercing over just some of the statistical stuff, and you can read into that what you want, but there's a lot of evenness in everything. But the Knicks had trouble, the thought was against Boston. How are they going to handle the glass against Boston? Because Boston's a better rebounding team. The Pacers are not a great rebounding team. How important is the glass in your estimation in this series?
It's very important. And I think what the difference is between Cleveland, and Cleveland's a great rebounding team too, right? But Cleveland is from their bigs. What the Pacers have to worry about is Josh Hart crashing, because he's just so difficult to contain, and he creates extra possessions all the time for the Knicks. And that's obviously a recipe for disaster for the Pacers. But yeah, rebound is going to be key, and winning the turnover battle is going to be key again, because this is a Pacers team that this is an elite offense, guys. Their tempo, their pace is very, very difficult to defend. They can score at will at times when they're really cooking. So controlling the other aspects of it and making sure that a team doesn't get 10, 12, 15 more shots than you, 8, 9, 10 more possessions than you is so critical. So rebounding has been, I don't know if I'd say the Achilles heel. It's been a bugaboo for them for sure, but they held their own on that end against Cleveland and hope to do some of the same. But the Knicks present some different challenges there because of their personnel. Basically, everybody gets in on the party as far as that is concerned, whereas Cleveland, it was mostly limited to their interior players.
Derek Schultz, ISC Sports Network, half of Query and Schultz. Follow Derek on X, Schultz 97.5, SCHULTZ 97.5. Derek Schultz joining us here on the American Paint Supplies Hotline. The Carlisle factor, all right, won a title in Dallas, won a title as a player, been in the league 40 years, okay, is completely overlooked nationally. What has he done with this group that he deserves a lot of credit for?
I think he has done a good job in, he is a guy that is always focused on the details and the little stuff. And he has allowed the team to grow without suppressing them. It's kind of like when you're taking care of a plant at home and you get excited and you don't want to overwater it, right? This is maybe the worst analogy in your guys' show history that I'm about to make. But, Carlisle has not overwatered the plant. You know what I mean? He's not just dumped a bunch of Miracle Grow on it. He is savvy enough and has been around the block enough to know how to kind of let this team grow and develop a little bit on its own while overseeing all of it and controlling the little things, making sure that, they're cutting, they're screening, they're rebounding, they're doing those things while also just not trying to sort of micromanage and do all of that. So, I mean, guys, can you imagine, and we're putting cart in front of the horse here. Can you imagine if, let's say, hypothetically, the Pacers win the championship this year? Rick Carlisle will have 2 NBA championships with the Dallas Mavericks and the Indiana Pacers. No offense to like Phil Jackson or some of the other people that have, 9, 10, whatever rings. Like that's worth 5 or 6 Kobe, Shaq, Michael Jordan rings, right? Those 2 franchises you won championships with? He's an amazing coach. He's a surefire Hall of Famer to me, and he's done an unbelievable job really from day one. The second that they hired Rick Carlisle, things started to turn around for this franchise and the results. I mean, he deserves much more credit than he's been given credit for.
And you can tell it's spring in the Midwest as they're planting things and the growing season's kind of dead as we're about to get into the rainy season in the hot summers and humidity. here in Florida, so we'll put some Miracle Grow on that. Halliburton's a star, a budding superstar. They've made Brunson out to be a superstar, might be because of the market that he plays in. How big is this series in your estimation for Halliburton to become, if they get this done, he moves himself up on the list of stars in the league, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about. I know that we're talking about those guys individually, but team success weighs so much into that. And when we talk about legacies and rankings and all that other stuff that we like to do on sports radio and sports programming and all of that. So, yes, it weighs heavily on that. He could be only the second player to ever take the Pacers to the NBA Finals, and obviously the other one would be Reggie Miller, who had a Hall of Fame career as well. I've never really focused on the Halliburton v. Brunson thing because they're such different players. Brunson is just an unbelievably gifted offensive player, and he can get you 40 every night. Tyrese Halliburton can dominate a game and not score 20 points. I mean, that's his game. He is not a stat sheet guy. You could look at a box score and really not come close to fully appreciating how Halliburton impacted the game. So I'm fascinated in that aspect. It's just two guys that are quote unquote point guards, but are very different in how they play and what they are asked to do for their teams. But yes, getting to the NBA Finals and seriously contending for an NBA championship like that, obviously that would elevate the status of Halliburton beyond even what it is now. And I think the secret is officially out about him as being firmly a top 10 to 15 level player in the league.
Derek Schultz, the ISC Sports Network, co-host of Query and Schultz. Follow Derek on X, Schultz 97.5, Schultz 97.5. Derek, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. We'll probably be calling you down the road for more Knicks Pacers, maybe the Pacers in the finals, and probably get to Caitlin Clark the next time as well.
Sounds good. I'm going to go harvest some corn, you guys. Appreciate it.
It's Derek Schultz with not one of the 5 worst analogies we've ever heard on this show.
No, we leave that to Miller and or Moulton to do, and that's done on a daily basis. If you miss some of our bad analogies, go to millerandmoulton.com or anywhere else that you download your podcast to download any portion of this show you may have missed today.
Very well done, Mark. Very well done. I thought he actually, I thought he sold it okay. I gave it a CC plus. Analogy.
I liked the garden. I was all in. I understood every word the man was saying. It resonated with me, David. I'm going to go home and water my tomato plant.
You know me. The only thing I know about gardening is I've seen other people do it. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when in 25 minutes.
Southwest Florida's scorching heat is on its way. Stay cool with Air Advantage. As a proud Rheem Pro partner, Air Advantage delivers top-notch air conditioning solutions to keep you cool and comfortable. Right now, enjoy 18 months, no interest, no payments on qualifying systems. Call 433-4635 today for expert installation and unbeatable comfort all summer long. Online at myairadvantage.com. Air Advantage. Call today, 433-4635.
Whether you're chasing peak performance, reigniting intimacy, or simply want to feel your best, Game Day Men's Health creates customized game plans to optimize your health. Call 239-427-3441 for our Bonita Springs and Naples location to set up your free testosterone test and consultation. Mention Miller Moulton Radio Show for 10% off your service. Find your maximum self with Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples, Florida. Call 239-427-3441 today.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Canada relief, I agree. When I was watching the reaction, I thought it's the kind of reaction you get when you go to the finals, not when you go to the conference finals. I will say, though, man, it's been tough being a Knicks fan for the last 25 years. I mean, they've been bad. They've been embarrassing on and off the court for most of that time. And the other thing, which is, I know we've talked about this before, unless you're from that part of the country, they love their basketball in the city and surrounding areas. I mean, we tried to say the
hell of a year for New York basketball with St. John's, reemergence and the Knicks being good.
I mean, the NFL is no better than third in the New York metropolitan area. It really isn't. It is a baseball, basketball area. They love their hoop. And so I also think because, I mean, let's face it, if you were a Knicks fan, you didn't think you were going to beat the Celtics. You didn't.
Couple of things here quickly. I doubt you saw, but Kevin Brockway reposted something. I liked it. The Ohio State budget for their coaches is more than the coaches' budget of the Browns and the Bengals combined.
Mm-hmm.
And Amanda Kristovich sent this out yesterday, and I just saw it. The NCAA will cede enforcement of amateurism to the power conferences. Charlie Baker confirmed the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and ACC are in charge of enforcing the House settlement terms, including the NIL clearinghouse and rev share cap, not the NCAA.
So now they really are event planners.
I was going to say, I mean, they just basically crystallized the fact that they are nothing more than event planners. Wow. And all indications are that Tush Push is getting banned.
Yep.
Everything I'm reading is that they've got the support to ban it.
Yep. He took 2 more months and he lined it all up.
Yep.
All in the name of player safety.
Right.
The NFL gives a damn about player safety. Listen, I don't like the tush push. Don't think it's a football play. Thought it violated the rules from the beginning. But, and yes, people have gotten hurt on the tush push. They've also gotten hurt at training camp.
I almost went Purdue on him, but we didn't have enough time. I just laughing that Painter was apparently recruiting this high school freshman 7'2" kid who's just dunking on little kids and wouldn't quit dunking on them.
He's 15. Did you see the kid?
Uh-huh. It was just funny because he's playing against all these, and he's just, I mean,
oh my goodness,
boys.
I'll tell you what, if you and I both saw the same highlight, though, the one team he was playing, those were 3 kids underneath who had their shots blocked, and they all kept grabbing the ball and going right back at him, and he just kept swatting them all.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when. Final thoughts, a pick or two. All coming up. Our poll question today. Red Sox manager Alex Cora missed his 7 o'clock game to attend his daughter's college graduation. That was early in the afternoon, just 3 miles from Fenway. Are you okay with Cora missing the game? It started out at around 90% you were okay with it. It's down to around 80% now. Good voter turnout thus far, but you are in favor of Cora missing the game. It's become a bit of a thing in Boston. It's a Cora controversy. You know, the Celtics got eliminated. The Bruins didn't make the playoffs. I mean, and the Patriots don't play for a few months. I mean, they got nothing else, Mark. They got to complain about something.
No, you're right. And I will say taking a couple here from the Mets has certainly probably eased things in Boston as the Sox have their record to 500, but still 4.5 behind the Yanks. And obviously not a playoff team if the season ended today.
You made a comment during the break that by all appearances, the tush push is going to die today.
Everything that I've seen, and this all comes from X, so take it with a grain of salt, but the football people that I follow, and they're all legit football people, there have been 3 or 4 that have come out and said that they believe that Raj has the votes, that the tush push will get banned today. Obviously, we won't know until later today if that is the case. But those same people, and David Bearman was on the show in the 7 o'clock hour, it looks as if the straight seeding based on record will not happen. Those are the indicators early. We don't know. Vote hasn't happened. A lot of lobbying, a lot of things can change between now and then. But it looks as if we've seen the last tush push in the NFL.
Apparently, Goodell has gotten the competition committee and the players' health and safety committee to be against the play, to round up the votes, to be able to get rid of the tush push. Mark, if anybody ever wonders where I get it from, I get it from my mom, because my mom was listening to us during the commercial break when you brought up what you just stated about the tush push and what have you. And this is what I get from my mom, who knows that I'm against the tush push. And she texts me and she goes, well, that's great. You're going to stop the center handoff too? There you go. There you go. So anyway, my mom's upset that the tush push is going away. Have to admit, though, my mom's the only person until the Eagles started running this play 3 years ago who ever used the word tush in my life. In fact, my mom used to describe it as tushy. So I think that's why she likes the play. I don't know how many times my mother has seen it, but my mother was very big conceptually in tushes.
Quick question for Mom and any other ladies out there. What athlete's butt looks the best in their uniform?
Oh, for goodness
It's
sake.
obviously not hockey because they wear big baggy pants.
Right.
Baseball, football, basketball. Ladies, feel free. 2100's the text line. Mom, just text David directly.
So do you remember the first time you were around your mom and your mom made a reference as to someone's attractiveness or sexiness even? Because I can tell you the exact moment that my mother-in-law did it in front of her daughter, because I was sitting in between them. And my mother-in-law just matter-of-factly said, you know, I have to admit, I like basketball so much better in the 70s and 80s because of the tight shorts. And my daughter looks over at her mother, and Mom, without missing a beat, looked right at her and said, your dad looked great in those shorts. Oh, my goodness. I thought I was going to have to revive my wife.
I don't, honestly, I remember my mom saying someone she thought was handsome or whatever the case may be, but my mom never put me in an awkward moment like that in my life. I will say the first time, in fact, I don't remember, maybe it's a Midwest thing, maybe when I was younger, I don't ever recall any of my friends' mothers making, whether it's a sexual innuendo or a looks innuendo or something like that. I don't recall that happening. And I wish I could remember what her name was. But when I first started working for the Atlanta Knights in the International Hockey League, I was an intern for Ken Double, who was our broadcaster. And Kenny, in the early part of the Knights, was a lot like you in this regard. Really always tried to endear himself to as many media members and meet media members as he could, and always he was in the media. I worked for a hockey team. I still don't even consider myself a member of the media. I do a sports talk show. I try to entertain people. I don't know media people. I don't have the connections. You travel more, you do. And he had one of the CNN anchors come and do color commentary for a game. And I don't recall her name. She was a very attractive woman. I was 22 years old. And it's warm-ups. And she wanted to go down from the press box in the Omni in Atlanta was just the front row, middle area. But there was only one row in the front of the Omni in the second deck. And then there was the walk-around area. And then row 2 started behind that. So we're in the front row, and she's sitting there with Kenny, and she's like, I want to go down and see warm-up. And Kenny's like, hey, big boy, take her down there and where she wants to go. So I take her down, and we're on the glass, or 3 feet from the glass. And again, I'm 22, and I would imagine she was between 30 and 35 would be my guess. Extremely attractive woman. And she starts looking at the players in warmups. And remember, at this point in hockey, you didn't have to wear your helmet during warmup. And guys lived to get that flow going during warmup.
Right.
Your hair was important.
And this is the mid 90s. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we still had flow.
Right. This is early to mid 90s.
Right.
And we go down by the glass, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she goes, I'll take him. I'll take him. You can box him. And I had never heard a woman, let alone a professional woman, talk that blatantly about men and sexuality, if you will. And I nearly got red. I was nearly blushing at what's coming out of her mouth. I'll be damned. Look at her go. That was the first time I'd ever experienced anything like that. And it was great. Good for her.
And she wasn't even checking out their tushes.
No.
Couldn't remember the name, huh?
I can't. It's 30 plus years ago.
I know, but see, now I'm going through my mental Rolodex of the women of CNN sports in the 90s. I'm about to throw Inga Hammond at you.
No, she was news. She was not sports.
Oh, she was news.
She was news.
Gotcha.
She was a CNN anchor, not a sports anchor. She was a news anchor.
Gotcha.
So I just, that always blew me away. And I wish I could remember her name, but I remember that moment like it was yesterday. And I was like, wow. Never heard talk like that out of a woman before.
But the tush push is reportedly going away. The thought is that the vote to change the playoff seeding is not going to pass, which I find interesting if they'll then even have the vote. Like behind closed doors, we knew 2 months ago the vote to ban the tush push was 16-16, but they never officially voted. I'm wondering, will Goodell actually want the vote on the record, particularly a losing vote?
We will find out in the next few hours. By the way, texter sent in, this must be one of our female listeners, who says golf pants have been very tight lately. Just for what it's worth.
Take your
Miller and
Moulton.
Moulton, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Today was the day when and what's on tap. It's how we finish the show, and it's next. For over 50 years, the Nolan family has been dedicated to protecting local families. Nolan Family Insurance is a second-generation independent agency that specializes in home, flood, auto, and boat insurance. They take the time needed to explain your coverage options and answer your questions so you can make an informed decision that's right for you. If you're looking for an agency that treats you like family, call 941-639-1122 or go to NolanAgency.com. That's 941-639-1122 or NolanAgency.com.
Wine glasses never fall over until you get a brand new rug.
Oh, no.
Ketchup bottles act normal till you're wearing a new shirt.
Oh, you kidding me?
And rocks slide peacefully on the road till the day you get a brand new windshield. Then they fly up off the road and attack without mercy. That's why new windshields from Glass Doctor come with our windshield protection plan. Unlimited repairs and one replacement for 12 months. Don't just fix it, protect it. Glass Doctor. A neighborly company.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound. Mark Miller for Molly Maid. I've been a customer for over a year and cannot say enough good things about their service and communication. If you're a business owner, you can trust Molly Maid to do an exceptional job. Their expert team delivers tailored cleaning for whatever your needs, ensuring a pristine environment for clients and staff. Visit mollymaid.com/FT-Myers or call 239-418-0052. Molly Maid makes my home shine, and it will make your home or business shine too.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Guys, you could type her name on there. Trust me, I'm never going to be able to tell you who it is. I don't know.
Also, this is early 90s. Robin Meade is, this century.
So the dude from The Bear is playing Springsteen, huh?
Who?
The show The Bear, the Shameless, the guy, the Lip from Shameless, who's now on The Bear.
Okay.
He's playing Springsteen in a biopic. Apparently about the making of the album Nebraska.
Interesting. I've never seen the show.
Watch the first season. I've watched the first couple of the second season. I like the show. I mean, I think it's a good show. One, I'm trying to figure out how people call it a comedy. I watched the entire first season, and I don't know if I laughed more than twice. Shameless was a dark comedy. There was funny things in Shameless.
Oh, my goodness.
There was laugh out loud things in Shameless. I never had a laugh out loud moment in The Bear. Like, I think it's a decent show, but Deathstroke, it's listed as a comedy. I thought it won awards as a comedy, which I don't get. We watched, and I don't know why we didn't go back to The Bear, but the wife and I had some time Monday and started a new show called Tires with Was it Shane Gillis?
Okay.
It's pretty raunchy, but it was the first show was good enough to get me back for another one because I think he's hysterical.
I agree with that.
And he's one of the writers and one of the producers, so. Huh. Great. David, do the Everblades play tonight?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, I've got an email from them. I guess it says game day, but I'm looking down to make sure it's tonight.
Yes.
They got a watch party and all that. Good for them.
I think it's Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, the 3 games scheduled. They need to win 2 to come back home. There's Natalie Allen. There's Susan Rook. I mean, these
Susan
are
Rook. Susan Rook.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes until we're out of here. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Now see.
Big discovery during that last commercial break.
You have to put up with a lot doing a show with me. You do. There are a lot of things on and off the air that you put up with. Every now and then, my gooberness, my dorkiness, my wow, you really haven't lived the life that you had hoped to live because you know way too many obscure things. You must have been dynamite in Trivial Pursuit, Moulton, can benefit you. Everybody in our Twitch chat room anyway, I don't know about the text line, but in our Twitch chat room, they're mentioning all these women on CNN, and I'm dismissing them. I'm like, no, you don't have the right era, okay? And I didn't offer any possibilities.
Not a one. Not a one.
From a news standpoint. Now, but I'm going through my mental Rolodex, okay, of the women of CNN in the news in the early 90s. And finally, somebody mentioned someone, and I go, guys, they're a little too young to fit the description that Mark gave, okay? 30 or so, 30 plus years ago. I said, we're talking Natalie Allen, Susan Rook, and all of a sudden, Mark comes out of his chair. That's it.
Susan Rook. That's the one. She's the one that wanted to, take a few of these hockey players, put them in a bag, and bring them back to her place.
There you go.
Never in my life had I ever heard a professional woman speak the way she did. And I loved it. She could have hung out in the hockey locker room. She'd had no problem.
Well, it sounds like she wanted to.
There's no doubt about that. And I was right because she's now 64. She's 9 years older than me. I said between 30 and 35. I was 22 at the time. She would have been 31.
Yeah.
Way to go. Way to go, David.
Thank you.
I wish I had a gift to give you today. You'd win our prize. If we gave away stuff on our show, I wouldn't give it to a listener today. I'd give it to you.
Oh, that's nice. So in other words, you'd give me a Miller and Moulton item? That'd be great.
In fact, someone sent us 2 Miller and Moulton t-shirts with our picture on them, something that I would never wear ever. I still have them to give to you. So the next time you're down, you can have them. I mean, I'd wear something with our logo on it because I like our logo. I think our logo is pretty cool.
I agree. We actually should have used it a few more times than we have.
Whatever.
But hey, Susan Rook.
Susan Rook.
Look her up.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Susan Rook, graduate of George Mason University, for those of you that wanted to know.
There we go.
Today was a day when, brought to you by Game Day Men's Health, Bonita Springs and Naples, 239-427-3441. That's 427-3441. Book your appointment today. Mention Miller and Moulton. Get 10% off your service. You can always look them up online, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. The American Red Cross was founded today in 1881. You mentioned Lindbergh yesterday. He landed in Paris today, leaving yesterday in 1927. The first solo crossing of the Atlantic. Today in 1932, Amelia Earhart becomes the first woman to complete the transatlantic flight. 1971, Marvin Gaye releases What's Going On, an album considered one of the best all time. In fact, considered the best album all time by critic surveys in the Rolling Stone magazine, New Music Express, and The Guardian. 1977, Stevie Wonder's single Sir Duke begins a 3-week run at number 1, and Fleetwood Mac's album Rumors takes over the number 1 spot from the Eagles' Hotel California. Not very good music right there in 77. Rumors, Hotel California, and Sir Duke by Stevie Wonder.
Wow.
Right? 1979, the Canadians, 4 consecutive titles as they defeat the Rangers 4-1.
So the Rangers win game 1, and Scotty Bowman is going to bench Ken Dryden before game 2. And he puts Michelle Bunny LaRock in warmups in the net. And back then, they didn't wear a mask during warmups. And he takes a puck off the head. He can't play. Dryden goes back in the nets. The Canadians win 4 straight.
Today in 1980, Empire Strikes Back is released. Most of the Star Wars geeks think that's the best one of all the movies, for what it's worth. 1981, The Isle goes back-to-back, beating the North Stars in 5. 1982, we've talked about this show a couple of times today. WKRP in Cincinnati airs its final episode on CBS.
Was that like a 4 or 5 year run?
90 episodes, so that would be probably 7?
4 or 5 years. I mean,
yeah, you ran more shows then than 13, didn't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, you usually ran 22, so it was either 4 or 5 years.
1990, maybe the greatest finale of a TV show ever. Newhart aired for the last time. The second Newhart run. I'll put that finale up against any finale of any show ever. 1992, MTV debuts The Real World. Did you watch season 1 of that?
No, I didn't, but
I did religiously. I loved the show.
My wife's a little younger than me, 4+ years. I met her for the first time the next year, and she was all into The Real World.
I was too.
And I was a bit of a snob and was like, well, we're going to try not to hold this against her.
Understand. I understand. Susan Lucci finally got her Emmy today in 1999 after being nominated 19 times. It was the longest period of unsuccessful nominations in television history.
That was consecutively, too.
Yes.
I mean, at what point do you stop attending? No, seriously. If you 10, 12 times in a row and they ain't giving you the Emmy, at what point do you just say, you know what? I'll stay home. And if you call my name, mail it to me.
2023, Brooks Koepka wins the PGA at Oak Hill. Speaking of old TV shows, David, Raymond Burr, Ara Parsegian, Jerry Faust, Johnny Majors, and the notorious B.I.G. would have all celebrated birthdays today. But Raymond Burr shows how much TV I watch. That's Ironside and the original Perry Mason.
So let me get this straight. 2 Notre Dame head coaches at the same birthday?
Yeah.
So
And
Ara,
Johnny Majors, right.
So Ara and Jerry Faust at the same birthday. Interesting.
Bobby Cox is 84. Mr. T is 73. Judge Reinhold, 68. Kent Herbeck, 65. Ricky Williams is 48. Josh Hamilton, 44. Andrew Miller is 40. And Josh Allen is 29 years old today. What did I miss, David?
Well, one thing that I'll mention. Have you seen recently Chipper Jones and Smoltz, Maddox, and Glavin sat down and they were shooting the bull with Bobby Cox, and they started talking about their favorite Bobby Cox ejections?
No, that seems like must-watch YouTube TV.
Let me tell you, it's a fun 10 minutes. Smoltz told a story about the umpire stepped on his foot, close play at third base. Umpire, I guess it was Windelsted's son, okay, steps on Smoltz's foot, thinks Smoltz pushed him, and throws Smoltz out of the game. And Cox comes out and tells young Windelstedt that he's not a pimple on his daddy's butt, and puts Smoltz back on the hill, and for 10 minutes will not let Smoltz leave the mound. Every umpire came up to him and said, you know, you've been tossed out. And Smoltz is standing there going, my manager says I'm not to leave. I'm not going anywhere. 1901, Connecticut, first speed limit. All right. 12 miles per hour in cities, 15 miles per hour on country roads. Okay. There you go.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
This first story has a little bit of everything to it, but it ended up being good. We go to Punta Gorda, where a karaoke cruise, which you could call bad and ugly all by itself, turned into some heroes on Saturday in Charlotte Harbor. A man decided he was going to jump a railing into the water. He smashed into the rocks on the shoreline on the way down. According to the boat captain, Cole Kelly, he said he wasn't very talkative at all. He wasn't very coherent either. He was very intoxicated. With the help of the passengers on board, Kelly threw a life ring towards the injured man. They pulled him to safety. Once they got him to shore, he was taken to the hospital. As for the tiki cruise, they got the man to shore, and as Kelly says, the show goes on. I scrubbed the blood off the boat, and we sang some awesome karaoke. We had a phenomenal sunset. Begging the question, can there ever be awesome karaoke? For the bad, we go to Missouri, where Leanna Binkley was driving her son to baseball practice when a snake popped out of her hood on the car.
Oh, my goodness.
Mother and son attempted to chase the snake out of her vehicle, but the passenger was determined to stay and dipped back into the hood. They were able to finally get the snake away. I'm amazed she didn't crash the car.
I'm trying to think, unless I had visual evidence, when I would drive the car again. Like once I pulled over, okay, and the snake is still like on my hood or slithering its way back into my engine, that's it. I don't know when I'm driving that car again.
For the ugly, we go back to Charlotte County, where William Williams, Bill, was arrested and being charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and discharging a firearm in public. Salesmen were going door to door in an attempt to sell solar panel packages. The men knocked on one door. They were met by a woman who told them to leave. They started leaving. That's when Williams came out of firing. He shot his gun multiple times towards them. They ran to a neighbor's house and asked for help. The neighbor didn't let him in the house, but let him go to the backyard, and law enforcement was contacted. Williams was detained. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, Wednesday, May the 21st, here on Miller and Moulton.
Everybody's playing in baseball. The Twins and Guardians are going to finish a suspended game at 1 o'clock and then play a regularly scheduled game at 3. 8 of the 16 games on the schedule today, Mark, are in the afternoon, including Rays hosting Astros at 1, Marlins hosting Cubs at 1. Very interesting. All right, 8 o'clock's the witching hour tonight. Hockey, Edmonton, Dallas, 8 o'clock. ESPN. I like the Stars in 6. You?
I'm picking the Stars in 7. DeBoer doesn't lose game 7s.
And then Knicks, Pacers, 8 o'clock, TNT. Remember, both football and basketball, or excuse me, hockey and basketball. ESPN is the West. TNT has the East. So on 8 o'clock TNT tonight, Knicks 4.5-point favorites over the Pacers. Give me the Pacers and the points tonight. Knicks in 7.
Pacers in 6.
Take the points tonight?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
By the way, it looks as if the proposal by the Lions about playoff seeding has been withdrawn. They obviously don't have the votes.
Okay, good to know.
We'll find out on the tush push later today. Miller and Moulton. Have a great day. Enjoy the hockey, hoop, and basketball today. We'll be back at bright and early tomorrow morning. American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Wine glasses never fall over until you get a brand new rug.
Oh, no!
Ketchup bottles act normal till you're wearing a new shirt.
Oh, you kidding me?
And rocks slide peacefully on the road till the day you get a brand new windshield. Then they fly up off the road and attack without mercy. That's why new windshields from Glass Doctor come with our windshield protection plan. Unlimited repairs and one replacement for 12 months. Don't just fix it, protect it. Glass Doctor, a neighborly company.
With summer approaching, time to take care of your own house. So stop into the Floor Meisters and see their huge in-stock selection of carpet. The Floor Meisters has 100 rolls to choose from, starting at $2.99 a square foot for carpet, pad, and installation. Come in and ask for Dave and have him show you the Dream Weaver Select. Many styles and colors to choose from to fit everyone's taste. Floor Meisters, 6281 Naples Boulevard in Naples, right next to Costco, or go to the web, floormeisters.com.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. I've been a customer for over a year and cannot say enough good things about their service and communication. If you're a business owner, you can trust Molly Maid to do an exceptional job. Their expert team delivers tailored cleaning for whatever your needs, ensuring a pristine environment for clients and staff. Visit mollymaid.com/FT-Myers or call 239-418-0052. Molly Maid, makes my home shine, and it will make your home or business shine too.
We've got a text message for Dr. Dollar. A few of my friends are taking daily Cialis or Viagra. What are the benefits and how much does it cost?
Great question. Cialis, Tadalafil, and Viagra, Sildenafil are game changer for men who want better performance, stamina, and confidence. They improve blood flow, support long-lasting performance, and help you feel like yourself again. And the best part, at Revitalize Clinic, we make it affordable. Less than $1 per pill. No overpriced prescription, no hassle, just real results, American-made, at the best prices in town. Plus, with early hours starting at 5:30 in the morning, we fit your schedule.
Take control of your health today. Call Revitalize Clinic at 239-277-5770. Visit revitalizelounge.com or text Dr. Dollar directly at 239-980-2302. That's 239-980-2302. Get results. Get confidence. Revitalize Clinic, because every man deserves to perform at his best without breaking the bank. Text Dr. Dollar now at 239-980-2302.
This is Miller and Moulton